My name is Erica Lorraine Spencer, and I remain subject to state surveillance and terrorism by the state of California that is operating a malicious targeting system which is referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices. And it is in violation of federal stalking statute 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsections 1 and 2. My website and podcast serve the public good by publishing evidence of the public entity's ceaseless engagement in a pattern of conduct intended to stalk and monitor via communication devices, surveil, harass, and terrorize an American citizen in concert with the people of the state of California. Documentation serves the lawful purposes of wide exposure, federal prosecution, and influencing federal legislation with policies specifically designed to punish, dismantle, and disincentivize an unprecedented targeting system by a public entity that acts in concert with the people of the state in order to criminally place under surveillance and terrorize an American citizen, which is a matter of public corruption in the state of California. See thepatternofconduct.wordpress.com. 5ZEU086. It's currently 8:09 a.m. It's Thursday, March 31st, 2022. It's P.O.C. Group stalking at the Ontario Museum of History and Arts. The entity using commercial vehicles around the perimeter to create light activity. The San Bernardino County building, of course, they're monitoring in relevant position. While they are, and the county building is the one that I've documented heavily with regard to specifically the fake sun over that building from the beginning of the day to the end of the day. And it's 150 East Hope Boulevard. It's adjacent to the museum where I'm walking right now. And it is 8:10 a.m. This is P.O.C. 8GCW229 7NHM930. The entity engaging in what is criminal summoning with regard to what is just repeated use of sirens, 45142F1. And this is the entity that's listening to me stalking, literally stalking as I'm sleeping, monitoring while I'm sleeping, and engaging in what is harassment while they're using their sirens. To engage in what is nothing other than disruption of sleep, to engage in the pattern of conduct, but this is harassment, and this is long documented. The entity would engage in this. The Ontario police would engage in this conduct while they were stalking me while I was sleeping in my vehicle at Vine and G Street, sounding their sirens, and the moment that I would wake up, the sirens immediately stopped, which is stalking with activity conduct, that simultaneity with which they would engage in it, incessant use of sirens, and then at the moment of achieving what you want, just to disrupt sleep, and then the sirens stop, and then they would restart again as I would fall asleep, and as I would wake up again, the sirens stop. This is documented conduct from 2019. I've already published this before. This is the entity that is the same ones you're seeing in images and video, stalking using their police lights. That is group stalking. They're in the path. They're in directed light. They're facilitating the criminal system by the people of the state as well, and they are engaging in that ongoing long documented pattern of what is criminal summoning, using your sirens, using your position while you're engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring. This is harassment by an entity. So I want to document that as well. The entity engaging in this while they are monitoring documentation as well. So this is also an impermissible threat, and that's what's remaining relevant, what the entity is continuously doing while I'm documenting. This is relevant to what is the prosecution of that entity. And the license 3316463, what the entity is doing, again, when you are in relevant position, which the Ontario police are, as I'm capturing them while I'm standing at Metro 102, while I'm on Route 61, and I'm arriving to Ontario, okay, and law enforcement are using their police lights. They're engaging in what is facilitation, just like any other demon, in any other third party, on the side of the road using their hazard lights or stalking the path with their headlights. It's the same exact pattern of conduct. These are demons that wear police uniforms that engage in the same pattern of conduct, all right, and have the same lack of any legal form while they are engaged in that pattern in the same exact demonic environment, okay? So while they are engaging in this and while I'm documenting this, the same entity that is stalking, because that's exactly what they're doing, while, by the way, the entity is flying over me by helicopter, and while I remain surrounded and being molested with what is directed light, having multiple shadows on the ground is directly tethered to what is the presence of law enforcement creating light activity. Those are elements. And it's criminal summoning, and it's all about you. It's not about what they are appearing to be focused on, which is doing something, a traffic stop, searching a vehicle, whatever it is that they're doing with a third party. Okay, this is how the system works. And so I also want to document, you have what is overnight and this morning incessant use of their sirens, which the entity is doing on a daily basis. They're doing it on a daily basis, and it's how the entity is also engaging in what is harassment. They're angry, hostile demons. All right, so I want to document that. 8HCJ615. 5XFA686. But that is relevant to document and to prosecute for, because you're talking about the ordinary targeted individual who is subject to that level of threatening conduct by a government, 8YCP148, while you are enforcing your rights to document and prosecute. And that is a level of intimidation and harassment that is unlawful. It is indeed impermissible. That's exactly why it's been termed that way. 7UWC734, 5MYC414, 7 BBS 782, and while hostile demons are just engaging in incessant use of sirens, for example, not only is it facilitation for demons such as 07254B2 who are monitoring, demons just stalking, maintaining presence all around. All they're doing is stalking. 8ATC421, doing it through the people. Everything that they are doing, they're maintaining presence in doing it, maintaining activity while they are doing it. All right, and doing it collectively. License 7GTU310, 7LJA318, 3WQS814, and they're doing it while the entity is engaging in the ongoing use of the sound of sirens. That is the communication of a threat by virtue of the use of sirens. It's indicative of the presence of the state that is always stalking and monitoring, all right? That is present, all right? That's engaging to harass you while you are woken up from sleep and stopping the sound of sirens, and you're waking up and you're recognizing this pattern of sirens waking you up, and then they stop as soon as you wake up. BU76X19 paper. That's a pattern with the intent also that's communicating a threat. All right, and that is not a coincidence, as you are consistently subject to that sort of conduct. This I've been documenting for years. Before that same police department stole my car, I was sleeping in my car. The police department were stalking me when I was sleeping in my car, harassing by use of their sirens. Okay, license 8EXX404. That is a very serious method of what is harassment and intimidation. All right, it's terrorism. You have what are the demon possessed, the same demons you see on video stalking using their police vehicles, both not even last night, but also the night before last night, while they are doing nothing other than engaging in what is federal group stalking and monitoring. It is entirely pathetic. And they are using all those resources to engage in federal group stalking and monitoring me. It's all about the pattern of conduct, 8ZEN820. If it wasn't, the entity wouldn't be stalking by helicopter like it always is. 8PEP692. 8LYR886. The entity wouldn't be in an environment where impossible light, because street lamps and the poles in the ground would have what is one shadow. Like me, I would have one shadow. This would be a normal environment. Street lamps do not create multiple shadows. They do not create light where your shadow is fanned out in front of you or behind you or all around you. They do not create shadows where it's upright at a distance away from you. This is the environment, 83239H1. And then these demons are in relevant positions stalking. All about what is the pattern of conduct, every single last ounce of it. And it's pathetic. 6GOC750, as pathetic as it is, using an airplane to fly over me, the entity is flying directly over the museum while I'm there. This is the ongoing stalking conduct. All right, vacillating from what is train activity to plane activity to sirens, concentrated where I'm at. This is what Satan is engaging in the state of California, and it's surveillance. All right, and it's terrorism while demons are focused on you. 8TQA878. Demons that are wearing police uniforms, 8LTZ280, that clearly don't have anything else to do. Because I am very important, I'm a priority. Clearly, so Satan is demonstrating that through its criminal conduct for which it's going to be prosecuted. But like I said, it's pathetic that you are in this position and you're demonstrating you actually don't have a job to do. Your job is to engage in criminal activity, surveillance. Surveillance of one who's documenting and prosecuting you, 8AGB134. That is terrorism to the ordinary target individual. License 5746383, and it is communicating an unlawful threat to that target individual who is also documenting the pattern of conduct, 8ZFM281, 09525P1. And then while you have these psychopaths, 8SXH624, 6NMD924, 7BCA924, 7CGX381, 5Z44889, 8HTS239, demons, 7ALV117. This is terrorism while you're surrounded by the minions of Satan who are engaging in what is highly criminal. all right, surrounded by psychopaths, and that's exactly what they are as I show them in their true elements. As soon as I'm looking out a window, where's that light source? That's not the sun, right over my head, stalking with those minions, and this is the same entity, all right? 8NNB811, the same entity stalking under a fake sun and light trolling across the ceiling. They're psychopaths, stalking with law enforcement. They're demons. 8YJG310, and they're engaging in what is terrorism. And so I want to document that the entity engaged in ongoing criminal summoning, and doing so while I am at the Ontario Museum of History and Art, where the entity is engaging in stalking upon my arrival on Omnitrans. Omnitrans is threatening with law enforcement. They're monitoring together. 23158C3. That is not a threat. That's attributed merely to the Ontario Police Department. The people are monitoring with the Ontario Police Department. This is the state acting vicariously via the people and acting directly. Every single license plate I read last night, 5B937, I can't really see the rest one. Not just in Ontario right here in relevant position to the demons of the Ontario Police Department. Every single license plate that I read is engaging in what is monitoring that is ongoing on a ceaseless basis. The ongoing system, the hundreds of video documentation that I've already accumulated of the entity stalking me by helicopter day in and day out, okay, morning, noon, and night. This is an ongoing pattern of conduct. Every company documented they're engaging in this conduct together. Now, day by day as I'm accumulating it, you need to understand that this is the pattern of conduct by Stephanie, who's group stalking inside of Fontana Lewis Library, is a part of the same pattern of conduct when I'm coming back to Ontario on the Omnitrans, a company that's engaged in surveillance with the people of the state, literally getting on and off the bus stalking. 061219B2, I believe. 02, I can't see that. You can scratch that one. I'm missing the third character. So the entity is engaging in incessant stalking with the same company. And I'm showing you that as I get on the bus and get off in Fontana, or wherever it is that I go, as I've documented, whatever city or county that I go to, that pattern of conduct is underway. Well, then these demons of the Ontario Police Department are engaged in what is criminal summoning, the criminal misuse by demons of a law enforcement vehicle and their position to engage in federal group stalking and monitoring. 8SJU679, 7MNJ563, 8GEM006. And the entity, as you hear, hovering over me at the B&G Plaza, not hovering over the south side of the museum where I'm sleeping, where the entity keeps a fake sun as I get up late in the morning, because if I get up earlier, the fake sun is there, but the entity is moving it, and it's not remaining at what would be the museum, which would be the case as I documented, getting up at 9:49 a.m. That fake sun's not over the Fontana Metrolink train station. It's right over my head as I remain in Ontario. And that is the ongoing pattern of conduct under which the demons that are Ontario police are facilitating that pattern of conduct. That is why I'm documenting not just those minions by license plate, the entire agency infected with demon possession, engaging in criminal facilitation, 1532426, 8CHN, I can't see there's one, engaging in criminal facilitation, 45624G3, and the waging of an unlawful threat, while those pathetic minions, because that's exactly what you are when you're wearing a police uniform, sitting in a police vehicle, all right, and you are stalking somebody else. That is literally what you are doing, and it's entirely pathetic, entirely pathetic. So you have what is using all manner of an entity, and an entity is using airplanes and helicopters and police vehicles and companies who are using their businesses, using their whatever they have with regard to perhaps if they have a commercial vehicle, as I'm documenting. You're talking about what is the ongoing environment. That's what surrounds, and this is why the American citizen, you're documenting the government. The government is present everywhere through the people. You don't have to travel up and down the state line in order to document the state's pattern of conduct. 2940956, that's Penske. All right, that's Penske Truck Rental with the crossing path right now at 8:22 a.m. And so you're talking about what is the pattern of conduct on behalf of the state. The state is doing it through the people. That's why you don't have to travel up and down the state. The people are surrounding you where you are. The people are acting as a group right where you are. It's group conduct. To travel up and down the state is to individualize the P.O.C. to just this demon, 6WHF619. That demon is present on behalf of the government, all right, in a specific environment. You don't have to travel up and down the street. All right, that's individualization. 65616V1 is a demon that's acting on behalf of the state, acting in concert with law enforcement, acting in concert with the demons who are surrounding you everywhere that they're living, wherever it is that they're working, wherever it is that they are present. It's present on behalf of the state. This is state surveillance. It is ongoing everywhere that you are. You don't have to travel up and down the state. That is to individualize the pattern of conduct. That's not what this is. It's conduct on behalf of the state. 8PSL 622, 8EOJ 932. And it's currently 8:23 a.m. SNDYRED, CC07S21, And Omnitrans crossing path going westbound approximately 3 minutes ago. It's 8:23 a.m. While I'm speaking. So that was the coming from Fontana. They're going to Pomona, crossing path though while I sit here at the B&G Plaza. 4877583, 7TK8333, 7VPV029, 7N52261. And while that bus of Omnitrans goes westbound, there's no light source that you see that is anywhere in the position of what is westbound over Holt Boulevard, which would be the case if the actual sun is remaining over not only Omnitrans vehicle as though it's special. It's special because I'm on it, and that's why all of hell is following me, stalking. That's why minions are doing that, because I am special. I'm so special, I'm going to prosecute them. I'm going to put them on the map. 6GIE451 for nothing that you want to be identified for. Nothing that anybody's going to want any parts of, to be honest with you. While Ontario police are providing all this ample documentation, which I don't even need, 88831B3, I don't need it. Their prosecution is complete. It is complete. All right, it's a work of term of years of showing how stalking is underway by law enforcement, how that malicious system is underway by law enforcement in concert with a people, any people, whatever state that you're in, vicariously on behalf of the state, in what is a specific environment, how they're contributing to that environment, how they are acting pursuant to the condition, well, not only the condition, yeah, they're demons, but 7CAA207, but the environment that they're in. All right, 6SGA625, it's already complete. 7HNM875. And those demons are engaging in ongoing stalking just like they were all night long. All right, coming around the corner, group stalking, law enforcement, period. Let me tell you something about what Satan does not have the right to do, does not have the permission to do, and will go to federal prison for doing. Exactly what the Ontario Police Department continue to do. But what it is stalking in plain sight, threatening you in your face, stalking, engaging in group stalking while you're the police. You get the worst punishment. You go to federal prison for that. And that's what Ontario Police Department is doing. License plate 1591659. Those are two males in that vehicle, vehicle 1021. Crossing path as I'm speaking to what is the completion of their prosecution. They're monitoring documentation. They're doing so. It's the P.O.C. But let me be clear. In addition to what is their stalking conduct, they're monitoring. They're also listening to every word that I utter as I utter it, which is speaking to how pathetic they are. And that is federal prison for Ontario Police. 1589471. The entity engages in stalking by police while they are engaging in what is criminal summoning, monitoring with demons such as 6P NW518. And engaging in what is harassment in doing so. This is what Jason Knight and Lester Keys were doing on January 13, 2020. It was the criminal act of criminal summoning, okay? And then you have what is myself documenting and having every right to do so, 27789W2 while police are stalking. And then they engaged in what is a kidnapping and waging criminal false allegations while they did so, okay? That is a very serious criminal act. What the Ontario Police continue to engage in is speaking to what is that pattern of conduct that they are engaging in, which is an unlawful threat. It's currently 8:26 a.m. Hold on. All right, I have boarded Omnitrans on at 8:26 a.m. That's why I said hold on for a second. And this is being driven by what appears to be a olive skin male, short hair, perhaps Latino. And this is after the Omnitrans arrives and the Ontario Police Department are crossing path, they're monitoring together. I just want to be clear, it's an ongoing P.O.C. Just speaking to the sequence of events. This is, the display says it's driven by employee number 3076. So with regard to what is January 13, 2020, that was a criminal act of what is criminal summoning. The Ontario Police were monitoring. This was the pattern of conduct, directed light, the entity stalking by airplane, flying directly over the 7-Eleven at 636 North Vine Avenue. I'm documenting that. I'm documenting what is the light activity. They're following me from the Starbucks, heavily documented Starbucks, where, yet again, you're talking about the entities keeping a fake sun over me by day, setting that fake sun as I remained at that Starbucks all day long. I'm subject to surveillance all day long, walking back to the vehicle where I'm sleeping at. The entity is stalking from place to place as I continue to document, and Ontario Police are engaged in what is criminal summoning. While I am documenting that pattern of conduct, which this stalking entity is aware of, Jason Knight and Lester Keys engage in what is a kidnapping upon waging what are false allegations. And that's how they engaged in what is that kidnapping by entity, by the way. Criminal summoning is a very serious threat to the targeted individual who is documenting. This is not any passive conduct. They're doing it while they are monitoring documentation, and that is an unlawful threat. while the entity is engaging in what is monitoring with the people of the state, using their vehicles, being present in the path, appearing to be engaged in executing some part of what is their job. It's not their job to be in relevant position and engage in light activity creation, which is what they're doing. Federal group stalking and monitoring is underway, and there is nothing that you are presenting in federal court that is anything other than the elements which trump. All right, the pattern of conduct as you are establishing it, you are documented as engaging in what is presence and light activity and relevant and any ongoing activity that is facilitating the criminal conduct of the people. And this is what the Ontario Police Department continue to provide evidence of. And it is the very act of criminal summoning that they are repeatedly engaging in night after night that resulted in what is kidnapping on January 13, 2020. Engaged in kidnapping on May 4th, 2019, all right, upon false allegations by the people of the state, that's Tracy Banks, engaging in what is the criminal act of criminal summoning. And this is a staple to that pattern that is underway. Criminal summoning is to be addressed in all of its forms. The law enforcement agency that's engaging in stalking you, they are relying on what is the execution of what's supposed to appear on the outside as their job. You are not in any way doing anything other than in the specific environment. You are stalking and monitoring on behalf of the state in concert with the people, and you are communicating a threat, and knowingly so, because they're demons in that specific environment. They are demons that know that you are documenting that P.O.C. And they are demons that are also engaging in what are egregious criminal acts to oppress and harass and terrorize, while they also, that is easily precipitating into what is harassment by any encounters that are unlawful by that entity that's monitoring and stalking via police, and engaging in what is any kidnapping by entity, as that entity is then exercising fictitious authority under the law. You're stalking. All right, you're talking any arrest that's occurring in direct, like, guess what? It's a criminal act by police. They're monitoring and stalking. All right, and so you're talking about what are absolute psychopaths, and criminal summoning is a very specific crime. It's facilitation. This is how police engage in what is the pattern of conduct of federal group stalking and monitoring, and it is that easily documented, and it is that serious with regard to what is federal prison, while the entity uses that very criminal act, their very position, to engage in threatening you in your face. Okay, so you're talking about what is the entity engaging in that pattern of conduct and doing so maliciously. And this is, again, this is all relying upon what is the ignorance of the ongoing pattern of conduct in the first place, and the ability for police departments who are demon possessed, they're criminals, engaging in interstate stalking in violation of federal law. And then you have what is, hold on, let me show you the Sheriff's Department. Just want to show you the Sheriff's Department group stalking, monitoring with 8EBP 632. The entity engaging in the pattern of conduct of what is criminal summoning, stalking in the path while they are communicating a threat. That very conduct that the Sheriff's Department is engaging in, the Ontario Police Department are engaging in, and they're monitoring with these group stalkers whose license plate I'm reciting. All right, you're talking about what is a ratcheted up threat, while demons in those police vehicles and those sheriff's vehicles are stalking as well. It is absolutely intolerable. And it is that which has led to what is kidnapping by this entity that's engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring, harassment, and it is a method of what is terrorism. And this is the system that the demon-possessed are engaging in. All right? This whole system is that which is of the demon-possessed population, ATNJ 112. And the entity's pattern of conduct of federal group stalking and monitoring is literally propelled by what is the criminal conduct of the of police, 8SLD 315, and at Capri Apartments, stalking in the path using hazard lights, facilitation, stalking in the path with light activity. That's what the Ontario Police do with their police vehicles. So it's the same P.O.C. I just want to point that out. Anyway, it's currently 8:33 a.m. as well. So that is the importance of understanding what is criminal summoning. Criminal summoning precipitating into what is a kidnapping. I've documented that. Criminal summoning precipitating into what is merely a threat to engage in kidnapping, and it is that which is a method of what is harassment while you're documenting, while they're stalking you. And you're showing that, you're seeing that in the environment. The fake sun is over your head and the entity is group stalking by police, and then they're hostile and harassing you while you're documenting it. It is absurd what Satan is engaging in through these demon-possessed law enforcement agencies that are criminals in violation of federal law. And so this is what the Ontario Police Department demonstrate. This is the template, because you need to understand what they're doing. It's necessary to understand this is how the system operates. This is how demons, or literally, you're talking about what is speaking to the necessary treatment of such demons, of the demon-possessed population, those in those positions of law enforcement. You see how that threat is waged by them, stalking in plain sight. being in the target individual's face and posing a threat, because that's exactly what is underway in the specific environment, in concert with the people, while you are documenting, that is referred to as an impermissible threat, and it is necessary as a matter of justice, as my documentation has shown, what these demon-possessed agencies engage in, the sheriff and the police, acting in concert with the court as well, which I've documented, to obstruct justice. And that's what that threatening conduct is about. That's what that stalking in your face is about. And that's all you're doing in the specific environment. You're stalking. The environment is already YP02122. That's Star Express LLC. That's a large truck they're monitoring. And that is the pattern of conduct that's underway while those same demons are listening to me explain to you what is the very serious crime that they are, routinely engaging in, stalking. And you're engaging in very plain stalking, very obvious stalking, using your vehicle lights. You're not engaging in anything that's legally relevant. You can claim you gave out a ticket, you took them to the jail. Guess what? While they're stalking me, they have done the same exact thing. And guess what? Whoever they're doing it to, claiming that they're doing it to, creating a paper route, asserting that they're doing it to, this is the same entity, don't forget, that engages in making up information, waging false allegations while they're kidnapping and monitoring, so they can state whatever they want, like I said, but it is the pattern of conduct and it does not change. And that is what is criminal summoning while the entity is engaging in that. And that is to be intolerable under federal law under all circumstances. And that's what I'm stressing. The government that's what they're doing while they are stalking, crossing paths with the people. And that documentation of that criminal conduct, upon documentation initiated by the targeted individual, you're documenting it. That's the unlawful threat, and it is an impermissible threat. And for law enforcement in particular, that is grounds of federal prison. All right, that is protecting the liberty and the physical safety and the overall well-being of that targeted individual, because you literally have what are the minions that are of that agency that are looking to engage in any method of threatening, obstructing justice in general, threatening, harassing, terrorizing you, stealing whatever property that you have, whatever that Satan can get its hands on. And that's exactly what the demon-possessed Ontario Police Department have done, and that they continue to do while they're threatening in plain sight, crossing paths, group stalking, all right, facilitating that group stalking conduct, any way that they can inflict that harm. And you don't have any position of legitimacy. You're monitoring, and you've been monitoring for years. And that is speaking to the P.O.C. Alrighty, group stalking in front of the bus, which is going to be on surveillance cameras at the Ontario airport. That is license 1503-150-3464, vehicle 1855 at Ontario Airport. Alrighty, that's the entity that engages in that P.O.C. The Ontario Airport is heavily documented. This is surveillance here, and that is the unlawful threat posed by the demon-possessed, the Ontario Police Department. License 79268B2, 7TWV746. That is the threat that's posed alike by, let me be clear, the people are monitoring, but these are the demons that are listening to me legislate around their demonic and criminal conduct. That's the Ontario Police and the Sheriff's Department, CNZ4078, that's Arizona. And they're engaging in stalking in plain sight, and that is speaking to what is that unlawful threat, okay? This is the entity engaging in what is stalking in your face, monitoring in your face while you're documenting it, and this is showing what the entity intends to do, continues to do as an American citizen, is documenting it in order to prosecute that public entity. All right, and that is an impermissible threat. And then the entity is engaging in also what is criminal summoning. So that is another official means. It's a federal crime with regard to the criminal engagement of federal group stalking and monitoring by law enforcement in concert with the people. It is currently 8:38 a.m. and this is documenting. I captured that in still image. I recited the license plate and I also showed you an image. They're driving right in front of the bus, stalking in the path, and this is what Satan is doing. You're dealing with demons, okay? This is what they are doing while they're listening to me document. Absolute psychopaths, just like they're listening to me sleep, sounding sirens all night long. Okay, absolute obsessive stalking conduct. And this is also what you're showing, what the entity illustrates by stalking me by helicopter. All right, this is showing, first of all, you're intending to terrorize, but you're also engaging in that which is demonstrating an unhealthy obsession. That's terrorism, while demons in those positions are doing that. And you're doing both. You're stalking. Okay, you're group stalking. You're clearly, you have an issue. You're obsessed, and this is demonic. That's what's wrong with them. But at the same time, you also are fiercely hostile. All right, that's the psychopath. Okay, that's a very lethal threat. While demons wearing uniforms, bearing weapons, stalking, all right, harassing, terrorizing, and also doing so moment by moment while they listen to you document them. All right, so you have more and more demons engaged in that. This is what I'm documenting about the people of the state acting via companies, As you identify those companies as I documented, you have the demonic response. You have more and more of them engaging in it. This is what the demons of the Ontario Police Department are engaging in, and it is extremely demonic. All right, it's very disturbing, and it's occurring in what is a specific environment. There is no form. It is the pattern of conduct. You can claim we were going to have a meeting. It's absolutely legally irrelevant. This is showing you what is demonic activity. It is the criminalization of that demonic activity. This is interstate stalking, and this is also understanding that demonic tendency that the demon-possessed reveal, as I've documented it. And this is what the people say. It's because they're demons alike, and so you're talking about what is engaging in more and more. They're like cockroaches. More and more come out as you name one. All right, there's Sam the Man. Then you'll have a whole Sam the Man is a specific type of group. All right, there's more than one Sam the Man. As I identify Sam the Man, then you'll have 14 more Sam the Man, and within the next 2 minutes, all of them at the same time. That's not a coincidence as you identify one. All right, this is what the Ontario Police Department are doing right now. It's demonic, and it's also relevant to what is their identity while they're engaging in that demonic conduct and engaged in interstate stalking. All right, that is obsessive stalking by police, and this is the entity that is stalking while I'm sleeping as well. All right, that is the inferiority at the same time that they are demonstrating. These are demons, and this is why I'm breaking down their demonic condition and what is their inferiority by virtue of their condition. They are engaging in stalking somebody while you're a police officer, and you're supposed to be doing something important. You're not. I'm what's important. You're stalking me, and that's not a secret, and you're also going to go to federal prison for it. The ordinary targeted individual shall not be subject to that. At the Ontario airport, everybody that is here, it's not a mystery. It's not a mystery about who's on this bus, who's driving on the outside around this bus, who is present at the Ontario airport. Like I said, you're talking about what is going to be and shall be federal prison for law enforcement because of the violence and because of the threat and the intent to obstruct justice that the police that are of this specific condition engaging in this criminal system of federal group stalking and monitoring intend to engage in, and what I've documented them engage in. That's what the government intends to do. 7 RQF 173 intends to do, as it is doing while you're listening to me create that legislation. You're listening to me document that pattern. They engage in more of the same. That's an unlawful threat to the ordinary target individual, and you shall not be subject to it. And it is necessary to create such policy around the infected departments, such as the Ontario Police, who, first of all, you disband them. They are a threat to the public, literally facilitating despicable and unlawful and criminally despicable conduct. This is what they're facilitating. They're hand in hand with the minions that are the people of the state. All right, they're engaging in it together, and they're also disgusting demons. They're inferior. They're unfit in every way, and that's what they continue to demonstrate while they're documented one after another, after another, after another. And I don't need to know their badge number. I get their badge numbers as I encounter them, but I don't need that in order to speak to what is going to be dealing with the Ontario Police Department. Those demons are in positions that they don't have any business in whatsoever. And while they're group stalking me while I'm on a bus, listening to me surround those demons, because that's what they are. This is Satan, and Satan is being bound by what shall be authority that it does not have. You don't have authority to stalk in plain sight while you're monitoring with the people of the state. You want to do that, you go to federal prison, and that is necessary in order to protect the American citizen that is subject to this criminal conduct. And that's exactly what the Ontario Police Department shall be subject to. All right, period. So it is the Ontario airport where the entities engage driving in front of the bus in order to communicate a threat, waiting for me to see them driving beside the bus, driving on the opposite side of the bus, patrolling up and down the street while they're listening to me document, while they're monitoring. Psychopaths. But this is what the people of the state are doing altogether, understand. But right now, I'm focusing in on the demons of law enforcement, okay? And how you deal with them. It is even more intense, that prosecution with law enforcement. Documentation of your stalking conduct. You are engaging in an unlawful threat. You're threatening the life by virtue of your presence. And let me tell you something. These psychopaths, these idiots, they engage in more of that while they're listening to me explain that policy and the groundwork, the analysis of their criminal conduct. It's criminal to engage in crossing paths. That is the monitoring system. And it's facilitation while you do that. And you're a police officer engaging in that, demonstrating also that you're a demon. Okay? You have the spirit of Satan on you while you're in this demonic environment. This is all manner of terrorism. And while you are engaging in threatening your life by virtue of the fact that you're a demon bearing weapons, okay, and you're stalking just like the freaks that you're documenting, all the people of the state, all right, and you're hand in hand engaging in that. You're not separate from it. You're facilitating it. And there is no the pattern of conduct is the pattern of conduct, and so you're understanding what is the template. It doesn't change. All right, and moreover, the entities engaged in documented acts of kidnapping over and over again, theft of property. These are different criminal acts of obstruction of justice that the same agency, the Ontario Police Department, is engaging in. They are group stalking. They are demons engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring. It's demonic activity, and it is the criminalization of that demonic activity. They are engaged in interstate stalking while they're incessantly engaging in this ritualistic conduct that is centered on light, presence as a group, and audible activity. License 6X18483. City of Ontario has been pacing around all morning, right now on Archibald, creating light activity in a utility vehicle. On the same Archibald, where I'm showing you the fake sun is over me and moving to the passenger side, but this is P.O.C. And it's P.O.C. as I'm documenting the Ontario Police Group Stalking. License 9444 2B2. That's Caliber Collision. United Rentals, Crossing Path. License 529L55, Nevada. Monitoring with City of Ontario, who's facilitating light activity. And this is the conduct that the Ontario Police Department engage in. Criminal conduct with the people of the state. All right, that's an unlawful threat. It is currently 8:45 a.m. Turning onto Inland Empire Boulevard. License 8HXR433. Oh, Turner. License 7WHG626 at Turner and Inland Empire Boulevard at 8:46 a.m. FLY331. UGZ 824. DRL 880. I'm sorry, 7DRL 880.
Please use rear doors.
That's a minion. Monitoring with the minions of the Ontario Police, by the way. While they're engaging in ominous stalking conduct as the demons that they are driving all around me, swarming all around like cockroaches. This is the same bus route, by the way, where you're looking at what is the literal appearance of the windshield enlarged inside, magnifies inside in the middle of the walkway of this bus. You can see the windshield wipers. This is what I pointed out on video. All right, this is the entity that's monitoring with the Ontario Police, who are group stalking all around me while I'm at the bus stop, listening to me sleep all night, stalking with sirens. All right, and then getting on the bus while those psychopaths that are monitoring on everywhere you're talking about. The entity, there is no getting out, first of all, what is documenting the Ontario Police Department. Second of all, you're group stalking, you're crossing path, where the entity is heavily documented as engaging in the pattern of conduct which is underway while I'm on this bus. It's 8:49 a.m. The placement of the state's fake sun is already a heavily documented aspect, and it's not changing on the next day. All right, showing you and capturing what is that impossible environment is establishing the pattern of conduct, because if it's happening on one day, it would never happen naturally on one day, okay? Ever. So you're talking about, let me get this license plate, 8KSC 887. The Ontario police are group stalking at the Ontario airport as I'm showing you what is presence in alignment to me on the passenger side of the bus after driving right in front, just listening the whole time, just stalking, all right, just waiting in order to be seen. That's what that demon wants to do, and that's how easily they're going to federal prison. It's not hard to document. Like I said, this is the same. You're going to remember the venue that I'm on. The entity keeping, first of all, a fake sun over this route at all times of the day, in the morning and in the evening, aiming impossible light day and night, as I've documented, 8EZD791, at that venue, the Ontario airport, where the fake sun is over me during the 8 o'clock hour, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock of March 14, 2022. The entity's fake sun is over me as I leave from Mercy House and I go to the Fontana Lewis Library, where the fake sun is over me at that venue, by the way, at 8 o'clock in the morning. All right, this is all manner of what is the same exact environment where Ontario police are stalking. That's what you're doing in that environment. You are stalking. And you're a psychopath who's listening to me surround you with rules that you shall be bound by. While you engage in what is the bold-faced violation of these rules, you're going to federal prison for that. It's an unlawful threat, and it just shows you what is the intention of the entity that is being documented by the targeted individual. They're showing you how they intend to act. You're going to restrain such criminal conduct, which is a threat to the life of the American citizen, subject to surveillance by those criminals of law enforcement. It is intolerable. Intolerable, all right? Zero tolerance for that. And it is a threat while you're crossing path in that environment, while you're being molested because the entity is stalking with light. It's entirely demonic, and terrorism is underway. The demon possessor surrounding you, third party surrounding you, the demon driving the bus, the demon's getting on and off the bus, the demon's driving around the bus. And those demons include the police. While that light, which I've shown you heavily documented on this venue, it doesn't change today. It doesn't change today. It's ongoing. Okay, 8AFG227, which is what reasonably follows upon establishing what is a pattern of conduct. This pattern of conduct is long established. So you're talking about not only what is necessary as a matter of policy with regard to the demon-possessed population stalking by police and sheriffs, you're talking about what is occurring within a heavily documented pattern of conduct. It is the pattern to engage in what is crossing path. This very pattern of conduct underway by police. There is no, this is what I'm saying, it is entirely asinine, but it is that easy to wind up in federal prison because it's that easy to engage in what is threatening the life of, when you're talking about what is an entity that's placing you under surveillance, and then that entire entity coming up with what is a false narrative as to what has happened to the targeted individual. The people of the state are liars. They're placing you under surveillance while you are criminally defamed or subject to whatever harm and harassment, and then you're talking about what is coming up with a false narrative that's in the control of the entity that's monitoring you. No, you are responding to that with necessary force, all right, and severity, and that is federal prison, period. You're waging a threat to the life. You don't have a right to do that. You don't have a right to be in relevant position. You don't have a legal argument to claim you're doing it ignorantly. It's also unreasonable where the pattern of conduct is underway. It's legally irrelevant. Ignorance is not any cause. Facilitation is facilitation. On behalf of a government that's threatening your life, remember whose pattern of conduct it is. It's the state's. It's the state's pattern of conduct. And so that is documentation of the police who are group stalking on the venue of the Omnitrans, that it cycles directed light underneath the bus seats, through the back, into the back, up onto the walls, molesting me with light on both sides. This is the heavily documented venue where they are stalking and doing so while they're listening to me document and surround them. And this is what I want to remind you of, and this is what I'm saying. The ordinary target individual shall not be subject to that. Now, you are capable of documenting it and enforcing your rights, and those police officers, that agency is waging an unlawful threat, engaging in criminal conduct, okay? It's absolutely criminal and egregious criminal conduct in concert with a people because you want to obstruct justice. You will not obstruct justice. You will go to federal prison for that, for threatening the liberty of another. It's currently 8:53 a.m. and that's just Sensational's crossing path on, that is Milliken. Engaging in waging that unlawful threat at the heavily documented venue of the Ontario Police Department, the heavily documented venue of the B&G Plaza, the heavily documented venue of Omnitrans, okay? Hundreds of videos of all of what I just stated. surveillance is underway, and you're group stalking, and the demons of the sheriff's department. I have, first of all, named those demons that engage in kidnapping inside of their state facilitating venues: Central Detention Center, West Valley Detention Center, Glen Helen Rehabilitation Center. Not only that I named them, I don't have to go through the labor of naming every single last one of them. I've named what is that agency, and you're talking about what is federal prison, while they're also now on the roads and highways, as I've documented, engaging in what is stalking, while they're listening to me also surround them with what is legislation that they are subject to while they are in the position. The San Bernardino Sheriff's Department infected with demon possession. Infected. Which I documented on their surveillance cameras while they were repeatedly engaged in kidnapping while surveillance is underway. All right, it's 8:54 a.m. at Ontario Mills, where they're monitoring. License 7PTE 914. And that is what is relevant to group stalking by police using their police vehicles. That is called criminal summoning. Criminal summoning is a threat to the liberty, as I demonstrated that. January 13, 2020. That's what that criminal act was. It was criminal summoning. Monitoring with the people. Stalking. All right? That is a very serious violation by the law enforcement, the demon-possessed population that are in law enforcement. They're using their jobs. That's how they're doing it. And monitoring. Error mark at what is tirelessly Schwab. Group stalking on the side of that building inside of the Ontario Mills. It's 8:55 a.m. Airmark Corporation that's engaging in what is surveillance with the Sheriff's Department in order to be visibly seen crossing paths. Those are the tactics that Ryder engages in, just parking that logo somewhere where you can see it. This is the tactic that Amazon Prime engages in, parking that logo somewhere where you can see it, where you're subject to the pattern of conduct. That's what Airmark Corporation is engaging in. Airmark Corporation is documented on surveillance cameras and documented, as I have published, engaging in kidnapping with this entity and group stalking with the rest of these minions at what is tirelessly Schwab. That's Ontario Mills. It's P.O.C. 8376 3X1. It is 8:56 a.m. License plate CB51V52. That's paper. XPM 391 7SHL 276 TMM 2. Directed light while this minion opens and closes the door. It's impossible light activity. 8:58 a.m. that is the state facilitating venue where that light activity is underway. West Valley is monitoring while this demon is operating the bus, and directed light is swiping as the door, these black rubber-bound doors are opening and closing while the entity is keeping a fake sun over the front of the bus. And not just over the front of the bus, that is aiming direct light through the front of the bus. The entity moves the fake sun based on where I'm sitting on the bus. And it's 8:59 a.m. There is no light source that's already over the intersection of what is, by the way, Sierra Avenue and Orange Way, as I documented yesterday. It's remaining over me. And those are the circumstances under which Omnitrans is monitoring with Ontario Police and the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department. But I just want to document West Valley Detention Center is a facilitating venue in relevant position where directed light is on the bus and I'm subject to state surveillance. Okay, just as is the case at the Ontario Airport, just as is the case at the Fontana Metrolink train station. Okay, it's 9 a.m. passing Kaiser Way on San Bernardino Avenue. But you have what is, again, supposed to be sunlight, because that's supposed to be the sun, that's through the windshield, even though yesterday I'm at what is Legal Services Center documenting the hell out of that venue. That sex offender that engaged in molestation, you see directed light through the depths of that hallway, absolutely impossible light activity. That was a demon that I was documenting, 414V85R. The demons of the people of the state is what I was documenting while you saw that light activity. Pay attention in the video I pointed out on YouTube. You can see the directed light coming through the blinds, the appearance of the blinds on the back of his head, while I'm in what is a shaded hall, absolutely impossible light. You're looking at what are demons that are engaged in surveillance, while I'm at Legal Services Center yesterday, where the fake sun remained stationary over my head at that intersection of Orange Way and Sierra. I didn't move. I stayed right there. All right, and I pointed that out to you as I continuously gave you, remember this time at 9 a.m., remember this time at 9:03 a.m., remember this time at 9:25 a.m., remember this where I'm at 9:35 a.m., where I remain in Ontario, where I'm in, what is Pomona, inside a Starbucks, but you have it right here over my head in Fontana. That's what the entity is doing right now, keeping this fake sun over this bus. All right, that's the P.O.C. And the criminal conduct of stalking in concert with the people of the state, engaging in surveillance, which the Sheriff's Department and the police departments engage in, that is the grounds of what is federal prison. And this is what I'm documenting with regard to that demon-possessed population, that criminal conduct as it's underway by law enforcement agencies. This is audible activity in directed light.
Transit centers in March 2022.
They're monitoring using those announcements. Walmart crossing path. Walmart crossing path again, and another vehicle, an extra. It's spelled XTRA. That's a large truck. A logo on that truck. JB Hunt crossing path. License 4ZYN875. We're at Prologis Drive in San Bernardino Avenue. A directed light coming through, this is through the front of the bus, through the windshield. And again, it's not sunlight, so this is why you're looking at what is the handlebar. The shadow of the handlebar appears flat on the floor on the inside of the bus. This is what the entity is doing inside of buildings, aiming it underneath structures, and you're seeing light under, the entity is doing that on the bus. That's what I showed you in video. That's what the entity is doing right now. And all I did was point out to you, understand what you're looking at. This is the shape of the windshield. This is engineered light that creates the object that it's hitting with this engineered light. It's not normal sunlight. And you can see what is the handlebar in front of the windshield that's flat on the ground. On the interior of the bus, you can see the windshield wipers that are appearing in what is a magnified size through the center hallway. This is not only light that is appearing, the object that the engineered light is hitting is appearing on the interior of the bus through, again, yesterday, as I showed you yesterday, into the depths of the hallway of the bus. That's the walkway of the bus. That's absolutely impossible light in every form and in every way, okay, which is what you saw, and that's what I documented. And then you have what is the shape of this windshield that's manifesting on the bus with light moving from side to side, touching on my thighs, moving up to both walls of the bus driver and passenger side. This is engineered light, and you're looking at what is Satan. Satan is manifest through that light. Okay, this is not sunlight. That's not the sun that's over the windshield. I've shown that as I'm reminding you about my documentation. Don't be deceived by this, because when I go to Pomona, Los Angeles County, and I remain there, when I go to Upland and I remain there, there is not possibly a sun that's over this windshield. And not only that, it is not even sunlight that's creating the shape of the windshield appearing in the middle of the walkway of the bus. It's demonic. That's how you're witnessing their demon possession. And while I'm subject to that on the bus, the demons that are law enforcement are monitoring me. They're stalking. They're coming around while that demonic light is present around me to engage in surveillance. And that is an impermissible threat, while they're also doing it to one who is documenting it. The ordinary target individual submitting such documentation, I mean, you take a picture of it. You document whatever you have. You have what is a federal prison, all right? This is speaking to what is law enforcement. That is, I mean, it is the ultimate and absolutely unlawful and intolerable criminal conduct and threats of an American citizen. And you're in a position you're already unfit for, you're a demon. And the evidence of it is that your presence in that environment, which you're telling the world while you're documenting. And second of all, you're engaging in what is absolutely unlawful under existing federal law, and that which shall be enforced against you. All right. And so I just want to point this out. That is XP20439. Using the announcements is the pattern of conduct. They use it to stalk with audible activity. It's demonic activity on an ongoing basis. Ongoing. 8ZSB999. We're at Redwood, I believe. Redwood in San Bernardino Avenue. And it's 9:05 a.m. But like I said, I'm just giving you the ongoing immediate example of what is being surrounded by evidence, which this entity is. There is no time of day where you're going to show the light source, which is already established. That's not the sun. And showing what's not the sun on Monday, that remains the case on Tuesday. Okay? So it doesn't change. That ongoing ability to capture the supernatural, that doesn't somehow change. Okay, well, we were just kidding yesterday, you know. Okay, no, it doesn't work like that. Okay, it's absolutely ridiculous it's ridiculous. This is capturing what's demonic. This is the criminalization of demonic conduct by a government. Demons of law enforcement, you go into federal prison, all right? The people of the state, you go into federal prison too. You want to engage in summoning those demons on the target individual, you go to federal prison for that, all right? And you want to do it passive aggressively while you're holding a conversation and looking the opposite direction while the pattern of conduct is underway. You go into federal prison for that. All right, the entity is doing the exact same thing in a different way, and it is equally threatening. Whether you want to engage in a kidnapping upon criminal summoning, or whether you want to engage in what is merely harassment and terrorism while you're present pursuant to criminal summoning, it is an ongoing unlawful threat to the physical safety, overall well-being, and liberty of that target individual. You go to federal prison for it. Period. Point blank. Period. All right, 2 periods. That's why I said that. Not just 1 period, 2 periods. That is absolutely necessary policy, because you see how these demons act. You're going to bind that. We're not doing that. Oh, they're doing it, but they're going to federal prison for it. I understand that. And Satan's paying a price for that. A dear one. It's 9:07 a.m. The entity engaging in what is showing blue and red lights across this window. There's no police officer in front of this window that I'm looking at. We were at, by the way, Citrus and Sierra Avenue. And so there's no police, which would not also be touching the window with light. But nonetheless, the entity, I just want to, because this is demonic, and so, like I said, these are demons. They engage in manifesting light. But nonetheless, manifesting a light which is on this window as I'm looking toward what is the north, on Citrus, at the Fontana Unified School District. And while I'm looking toward the north, you have what is somehow light that is penetrating through the windows, I guess. If you have law enforcement on my opposite side, which I didn't see, but what I did see is in my face while I'm looking north, and there's no police on this side of the Fontana Unified School District, and red and blue lights moving across the window. That's called impossible light activity, and it's also demons that are going out of their way to communicate a threat. They don't only want to stalk, they want you to know that they're stalking you. It's entirely pathetic. And that is documentation of what is this minion that's driving this bus. waging what is an impermissible threat. The employee number, the surveillance cameras, who they are, and they're monitoring with the demons of the Fontana Police Department, because we're in Fontana now, and it's absolutely pathetic, and it's absolutely impossible light activity. All right, even if you do have one of those demons of the Fontana Police on the south side of what would be Citrus and San Bernardino Avenue, it's not going to pierce through the window and run across the window while I'm looking to the north. That's the demons that are stalking, and they want me to know that they're stalking. And obviously, because you're going out of your way to manifest light, which is impossible to even occur. It's impossible to occur. So it's 9:12 a.m. I want to speak to what is the city of Fontana. So that's red and blue lights, the demons of the Fontana Police, which they were at Danny's Market last night. The same Danny's Market where I'm showing you that directed light that's in the middle of the bus. That pattern of conduct that was underway then was underway while they were engaged in criminal summoning at that same Danny's Market last night. And HCQS 627, that same pattern of conduct underway while I arrive in Ontario, and the demon-possessed Ontario Police Department engaging in criminal summoning as well. This is an entity that is acting together as one, and that's also shown as I go from city to city, and you see the impossible occurrence of what is a light source that's remaining. Not only remaining, but remaining all day long. Speaking to what is the absence of that light source from remaining all day long in Ontario, for example. It's 9:13 a.m. That's federal stalking, terrorism, molestation by the Fontana Police. That's at the Fontana Unified School District. We are at the El Super Plaza. That's on Marigold and Sierra Avenue. 8GQX 118 is a demon monitoring as well. Crossing path. By the way, that is the unlawful threatening conduct. That's the point of stalking by law enforcement. The intent to be seen, the intent to communicate a threat by virtue of your presence. 8 P.O.C 796, which also is pronounced, okay, which also is occurring while directed light is present, molesting all over your person. That is the point of what is criminal summoning. That's what's underway while you're engaged in criminal summoning. That's what's underway while you are group stalking in the path. And that is exactly what is unlawful. All right, by demons that are of the law enforcement agencies engaged in federal group stalking monitoring. 8CPC 520 4SFU 831 6ZTL 53. You can scratch that. I can't see the last characters. And it's 9:14 a.m. King Taco. I can't see their license plate though. King Taco's in the same venue of the El Super Plaza. Are group stalking outside of their vehicle crossing path, but I can't see their license plate. M16563, I believe. It's substantially similar. It was nonetheless an AT&T vehicle. As you heard me documenting yesterday, AT&T pacing repeatedly on under the fake sun at the Sierra Avenue and Orange Way intersection yesterday. One after another after another. That's pacing. Group stalking by a particular company. Check crossing path again. We're at Sierra Avenue in Randall. This is Burtek that was group stalking at Fontana Lewis Library as I showed you the fake sun hovering over my head directly above the window of the computer lab that I'm inside of, and you see directed light that is sprawling into the depths of that computer lab on the ceiling. That's literally Satan that you're looking at. It's personified through the light. While Burtek is engaging in what is terrorism, amplifying the sound of emptying dumpster trucks, which is creating impact impossible. It's sensational conduct, and this is how demons, that's what they are, driving that dumpster truck. Those are demons that are engaging in physical activity in the flesh and blood, and that demonic aspect is occurring while it is a method of targeting me. Demons are engaging in group stalking in this demonic environment, and their activity is affecting me. That's how you're engaging in what is demonic. Now, ordinarily, let me be clear, which is entirely unjust. One who is, for example, you know, I would say it would be unwise, because when you're subject to the pattern of conduct, which is demonic, 8FKR, 868, I believe. Can't really see that one. 8HKU505 is correct. And 8ZVY746 is correct. The entity is engaging in this demonic activity, which is what Burtek was doing, and Burtek is stalking now, okay? Knowing exactly where it is that I'm located while they're engaged in what is demonic activity creation. You emptying the dumpster is not going to sound like it's on a microphone inside of the computer lab of the library, all right? The actual sun is not hovering above my head inside of that computer lab window. All right, but that's what's ongoing. It's a demonic pattern of conduct. Sunlight is not sprawling, into the building across a ceiling, but that's what you saw. It's a demonic environment, and it's achieving what it's monitoring with communication devices. And what you saw in that video, those demons keeping their back, all of them look in the opposite direction. They're all stalking. They're all minions. All of them are demon possessed, and they know exactly what I'm capturing about their criminal conduct. 8WKC077. This is, let me be clear, amongst all of them, it is the presence of Satan. They're all demon possessed. They're all acting together. All right, and so that includes the company Burtek, who's group stalking at Randall and Sierra Avenue, and group stalking as I'm noting them while I'm on this bus. They're following from place to place. And that is prosecuted as what is group stalking by a particular company. Demons. Right? And that was Burtek that was engaging in that. And so that is what is the absolutely demented conduct that law enforcement is engaging in. All right, they're doing so and having no legitimacy whatsoever. The pattern of conduct is underway. You are a demon, shown to be a demon, where the pattern of conduct is underway, and you are showing the ways in which you are engaging in that criminal and demonic system. And you go to federal prison for that. And you're stripped of that position. You're unfit. You're unworthy. You are literally a threat to society. Okay, an unstable and delusional psychopath engaging in this very criminal system, and you're doing so in the position of law enforcement. And so that's both the sheriff and the police department. So it's 9:19 a.m. I just want to remind you that that's the Burtek company, but Burtek is just acting on behalf of the state. As I pointed out, Burtek is just a minion that is driving that company vehicle under the name of Burtek. Understand it's a means of identification, because the government is going to be prosecuted via the people in concert with the people of the state who are engaged in this demonic system together. All right, so it's 9:19 a.m. at the Fontana Metrolink train station. AT&T crossing path again. Let's see. For UQW 5 through 9, monitoring with the demons who are pacing one after another, counting on my inability to see their license plate. I don't need it. 8RLN 889, monitoring with the minions that are pacing. 3THG 884, monitoring with the minions who are pacing. And so is this bus driver. And it is currently 9:20 a.m. And again, these buses are armed with surveillance cameras. Route 66, creating light activity. 1545, 686, I believe. Bus number 2350, Route 66, on not only Orange Way, but also at the Route 66 bus stall, surrounded with light activity. So is Route 14. These are demons stalking in the path with light. This is what the Ontario Police Department, the Fontana Police Department are doing with lights, okay? That's what Omnitrans is doing, stalking in the path with light. It is 9:20 a.m. Alrighty, again, this is bus driven by employee number 3076. And getting off at Fontana Metrolink train station at 9:21 a.m. Route 61, stalking in the path with light. This is bus number 2363, license 1545907. And the bus that I was on is, again, Route 61, license 1545811, bus number 2350. Bus number 2351. Alrighty, and it is 9:22 a.m. (16635G2), 8TZX079, 6JZS945, 6BRD232, 8WLD615, 5AXL833, 8AHB168, 5ZCP487, 8TUY783, I think this is, yeah, I already read this license plate. Route 66. Again, 1545684 because they're crossing path now, monitoring. As I read license plates, these demons use their buses, they sit and they wait to engage in the P.O.C. So I do want to read that license plate. They're monitoring in relevant position and they engage in the criminal act of crossing path in order to monitor with these demons whose license plates I'm reading. The same with the short bus Omni Access number 9240, license plate 1528613, 89026N1, 1L23548. And I read that license plate already. Into 9:24 a.m. This is at Sierra Avenue and Orange Way, where the entity is covering up its fake sun that is already documented, heavily remaining over my head at all hours of the day. That's why I'm able to capture before 9 o'clock in the morning the fake sun over me. March 14th, I remained at Mercy House and I arrived here after 3 in the afternoon and the fake sun remained over me in the morning yesterday. That's an impossibility. 5ZOJ771, 48152P1, 8UHY925, 7FLW660, 8LRF430, 7YSZ037, 8ERH661, 8JYK108, 8PUY257, 78CB170, 8YVD340, 7JQS826, HADYIA 09335G1, 8KGA828, 7NYL850, 6R, I can't really see that one. 5DLM304, 7B73889. Group stalking at Utopia Nails. A demon using their lights, stalking in the path, just like you saw with the Tennessee license plate while the entity flew over by helicopter and the fake sun remained at that intersection. That's a third-party facilitating venue where a minion is stalking in the path with their lights, turning their hazards on as I reference them. Okay, Utopia is a third-party facilitating venue adjacent to what is third-party facilitating venue, the plaza at 8689 Sierra Avenue. License 8CGB064, I read that one already. 1387134 is Omnitrans. Bus number 1255. Calling itself training, they can call itself whatever they want. They're crossing path. They're monitoring with the demon who's using their hazard lights at Utopia Nails in front of what is the Shoe Works, the Pupuseria Chalet at the 8689 Sierra Avenue venue. That's called surveillance. License 7J YS601, 5CXK295, 6VVA356. This is the New York license plate, GNE3346. 46639K2, 6XTD266. 2679115, that's Indiana. 2086358, 6TDL627, 8H77655, 1590822, that's Omni. 6LOB236, 7UGF177, 7WNH307. 8R14694, 7GJ0440, I believe. But I couldn't see if there were two fours or not, so I guess you can scratch that one. Doesn't really matter. It's 9:26 a.m. 8KXV193, 5LPR404, 8HYB559, 6AWX760. 8MOD201, 6NJX078, 8E72544, 5PRN632, C. Lopez Lawn Service. Deport him out the country as he's not a natural born citizen. License C3C5349, and I can't see the last character. But that's the logo on the side of his little raggedy truck where he's group stalking. It is 9:27 a.m. 7 PGU 584. I think I read that one already. 88OJ464. 7 MCC 411. 8 ZUN 282. 5 ZXF 375. 7 AVS 042. 5 Y3 9980. 34482T2. 48873B2. 8 ZKW 486. 8 FLE 289. 7 KYJ 134. 5 VHZ 408. 8 BJX 863. 8 XKC 584. It's 9:28 a.m. License 7ZZD 151. 72039K1, that's Spectrum. 7RAV677. 8BYC245. 48088R2. 8VZZ228. 8WON021. 8TJV206. 4220-2H1. 8EOH970. 6YEK708. King Taco, license 46994H2. Thanks for the license, King Taco. RCT-444-B. 206FR handicap. License 6DIP034. Eight ZGE024. 4 LEV129. 8 KEG338. 8 DTT134. 8 AEU755. 7 GAX845. 7 MJN589. 8 JIN 8. Excuse me, 8 JIN 989. San Bernardino Fire 1522050. They're crossing path in a white SUV. 8M16563 or 8MI6563. That's AT&T. 7 GVD897. JPAGE. 07692J3. 30444F1. 8X 36619. 4VFA540. ATGF552. 7UIS400. That's criminal summoning by San Bernardino County Fire. Monitoring with Colleen Street, who's crossing path as well. 7EUR433. San Bernardino County Fire is driving west on Arrow Boulevard right now at 9:31 a.m. 108-1865. That's San Bernardino County Fire who crosses path with me while the demons in a fire truck cross the path with sirens. Understand that. All right, that's the entity acting directly. And I want to be clear, the unlawful threat, the impermissible threat is posed by the fire department as well. The documentation showing they engage in kidnapping and criminal defamation along with law enforcement. The acts of criminal summoning, stalking by the state acting directly is posing an ongoing threat to the target individual's liberty. And as I'm documenting them engaging in that P.O.C., and doing it in concert on behalf of your facilitating stalking by law enforcement, you're getting down to the same analytical framework, and you're talking about what is federal prison for those of fire departments engaging in what the very conduct that you're listening to. All right, engaging in the strategic stalking, and it's not very strategic. You're crossing paths, sounding sirens. You're doing so while you're monitoring with the people. That includes law enforcement. You're monitoring with them, driving by me while another demon sounds sirens. And those are minions that are engaged in and capable of engaging in what is kidnapping upon criminal defamation, harassment, and terrorism. All right, 8XYR278. AG58733, 5XYR823, 5LHK426. The fire department is no less of a threat. Sounding the same sirens, okay? Doing so with the same entity, law enforcement, 8RMMO90. So I just want to point that out to you, 45206V1, and I've also documented that. 7LHV762. This is the minion who's stalking with San Bernardino Fire. Again, that's 7LHV762. 12814M1, 7NLR739, 8LJA278, 8FZE831, 6WSR064, 7HRG650, 6PER 403, BN09G64, I believe, paper, CB16S18, paper, 6AGY211, 82461U2, 75601P1. That is, what is that? 8XLK366. 07666Z2, 6YTE373, 5VDK224, 7KGN606, 9845623, 8UTV702, 8PHV773, 7BLT163, 7DRW956, 9G04544. That is Velasquez Logistics, US.34766678, carrying Amazon Prime, a third party. The license plate of Amazon Prime is C45810. Can't see the last character. But that is the third party that's carrying that logo, 70LD430. This is relevant to what our companies that are monitoring and how you're documenting it. The third party that's crossing path. It's nothing other than a method of crossing path, a means of crossing path on behalf of the state. And as the entity monitors your documentation, you identify an actor. The entity will use logos to communicate an ongoing threat. Repeat, as the Ontario Police Department did this morning, their demons. As you identify them, as you document them, as you speak to what's going to be policy that prosecutes them, engaging in that demonic character of doing it even more, popping up all over repeatedly, and with immediately following what they're listening to you say. It's Satan. Satan is the audience. All right. Satan is the defendant. Satan's going to federal prison, engaging in that by law enforcement, and the people of the state engage in what is symbolic, threatening, conduct. It's demonic. And in the same way they engage in that, you can prosecute and document it. 8DUE950, 7RFX538, 8BIU100. And the reality is, you're talking about what is a demon that's engaging in this criminal system in the state of California. And if you do not want to be documented by virtue of the presence of your logo as a means of documenting a third party at present, stalking on behalf of the state, because that's what it is, then don't do business with such actors, period. And you won't be documented. 4YZZ696. But like I said, Amazon Prime's not a victim. Clearly, documenting. 8KKN498. 6DFP983. 8DTP952. 8FBE517, 5NXS532, 7LVD064, 8YYG001, 7LJB260, 8P35165, 5RML869, 7YRX528, CEE1523. It's 9:37 a.m. 5ZWA822. 8PQF7, well, I think I read that one already. 8XAR220, I believe. 8PQF748, just in case. 5WUC216, 8JPD262. 0108P, handicap, 6VCR993. San Bernardino County, 1419783. 5DLM 304. 8E26208, 8KLP715, MK7JEDI, 4YNV702, 8BMD646. 7WFB 746. 5, I can't really see that one. That's Allison Mechanical. And 5T1862, but I can't really see that one. 7RTN143 and United States Postal Service Vehicle 8203673. It's got the number 28 on the back of it as well. Allison Mechanical, I couldn't see their license plate that clearly, but Allison Mechanical is a readily identifiable brand. License 8WIF075, 4YUR661, 5TEZ472, 8NLF608, BU21X93 paper, 6HCL7574, CWE855, 8PPG796, 7TQE463, 8ZAV654, 8WKC077. Omnitrans group stalking with the minions getting off the bus for purposes of light activity creation as I'm walking down the street. Bus 1535601, route 14, bus number 1347. They do whatever they're doing based on what I do as I do it. Demons. 8BTU100. As I've shown you while I'm on the bus in that specific environment that's maintained, a demonic one, and it's impossible that it's naturally occurring. It's not street lights that's moving on the middle of the bus to the back of the bus, underneath seats, flashing light underneath the seats, okay? And it's also not sunlight that's engaging in what is the same conduct during the day. So it's supposed to be, that's the guise under which it's supposed to occur. As you can see, it's unintelligent. It's not even realistic. It's highly unpersuasive. It is nothing that is intricate whatsoever. You're looking at what is stalking with light. Why are they stalking with light? Surveillance is underway. 7BDN326, 97854H3, 8JRK426, 8MLZ850, 7PSK490, 34258V2, 7HDB418, U.S.C. DOR, 8EPZ846, 7GTW791, 8KIR785, 8PLA388, 8TG, how many can I see that one? 811262S, I'm sorry, 81126S2, excuse me, 6XMA716, and 82461U2, 7, oh, I can't remember that one. 8VUL895, 8LPA507, 24521Y2, 8NAU129, 8C51258, 7JMC793, 7THW299, 7KYW293, 6V11119, got Fontana Police crossing path on Civic Center Drive in Seville at the third-party facilitating venue of S.I.I.S, the restaurant and event center. They're crossing path, and their state facilitating venue, the Fontana Police Department, is no form. It's a facilitating venue as well, where ongoing surveillance is underway. Okay, just want to speak. Oh, I'm coming from the police department. Yeah, a facilitating venue where surveillance is underway. You're crossing path. License plate 8FRC471, 7LBW216. It's 9:42 a.m. 90241K1, 7JXK517, 8WSS030, AY672 handicap, 8PQU803, 22982D3, 8THZ794, 6UYE002, 8XIR172, 6WUV320, 1558282, UPS crossing path, 8UFR474. They're going in the opposite direction. Excuse me, not the opposite. They're on the opposite side of the road, going what is north on Sierra Avenue. They're at Upland Avenue and Sierra right now at the red light, at the Fontana City Hall, turning onto what is that, Upland Avenue. They're crossing path and creating light activity. That's the significance of what they're doing, using their turn signal, crossing path in the environment. They're group stalking. License 8NGJ824, 7VEN829, 10874J2. WSH355, 15876V2, 7LZV337, 5ZZR 825, 7XBS 656, MRH HEMI, NWN 9280, that's Texas. Route 67, baseline is approaching at the red light, stalking in the path, that's Omnitrans. And that's bus number 2358, license 1545806 at 9:44 a.m. They're going southbound on Sierra, 6DAC 373. Monitoring with that minion, 8BIZ 365, 8YTL 726. That minion is a reference to the audible activity that you can hear, because that's the significance of that noise. It's audible activity. It's monitoring. 6FYL233, 7JHN851, 8ROP551, 7VXS684, 5KVL821, 5PXY243, 7XDW500, 8NDK974, 33456U2, 8JO2608. You have what is the United States Postal Service, the 8282 Sierra Avenue. This demon stalking in the path of 5KVL821 with hazard lights on. Lights, that's light activity. 8JO2608. The entity is keeping a fake sun over my head. Those are demons, and they're doing it at State Facilitating Venue of the United States Postal Service. Phil Cawthorn, his little office over here at 8253, they're monitoring to that. There is no form. License AZA5061, especially when the grocery store has light sprawling across the ceiling. When you have light reaching onto the inside and the outside at the same time, as though that's going to be sunlight on any day, and it's not. The pattern, all right? You're stalking in the path with and manifesting light while doing so. It's an act of terrorism by the people of the state, demons who are stalking. 6VJP939, 7PBD114. All of them sitting in their cars waiting to pull out of a parking spot is a method of stalking with light, all of them together. Bunch of demons, 8XOF814. And this meeting with no lights put on its car at all. That's funny. License 58NF312. JUMMU 7FSD862, 8HLF254, 7KPS084, 5XFZ012, 7YYL449, 8BDV903, 8NUS038, 8CLL345, yeah, 7YPJ315, 7ZVV747, F133SO, 7CTC248, 8PQF748, okay, right up the street over here, 8AIU271, 8HQS933, 5YVK694, 5VRJ064, 7CIV967, HUSNM-HEART-M, 7XUB851, 7TIU208. At what is third-party facilitating venue? The Stater brothers, by the way. The one that is, well, actually all of them that I've documented, except for the one that's on Central, but I captured the fake sun glaring over its roof, which was a hallmark as well, but I didn't specifically capture what Stater Brothers likes to engage in, patches of light inside of their venue. Stater Brothers is letting you know that they're a demon-possessed corporation, okay? This is what they do in California. That's how you have that impossible conduct occurring at more than one venue in a different city, and it's never even possible to occur under any circumstances. It's a pattern that is irreducible evidence of what is direct evidence of surveillance that you're subject to. And then you got the police that are group stalking. 8RBU703. Like it's anything other than the P.O.C. This is what I mean by surrounded by evidence. It's pathetic. It's 9:48 a.m. P.O.C. Alrighty, completing my purchase inside of Stater Brothers. And as I've shown you through the very demonic light activity, this is group stalking in a grocery store. This is demon possession as you're witnessing it in your neighborhood grocery store. And that's what's underway while the light source remains over my head and the entity is just covering it up with clouds. It's the same demonic environment. 15628U1. 5D49599. But again, I've already documented what is an impossibility, that light source was hovering over me at this venue, at this address in the city at the time that it was, and remaining as I went to the Fontana Lewis Library. So that's already a matter of documentation, and that doesn't change, and demonic activity is exactly what it is. Real-time control over the environment around you, and that's what's underway while group stalking by the people of the state. 8VER269, BR66L52 paper, 8WOD625, 8VMK029. 51297W2, 8PHU373, BF27Z90. What I want to point out some things. First of all, the heavy-duty stalking by the entity, and you're witnessing it while I'm, first of all, at the Ontario Airport, or I'm at the BNG Plaza, for example, and I'm speaking about, what am I speaking about? I'm speaking about rules that are going to surround the demons that are law enforcement. 4DNK646. And let me correct that. Demons that are currently in the position of law enforcement, but they are going to be removed from that. This is handling and confronting and exposing all of that. These are demons that you will prosecute, the ways in which you're going to handle what is Satan that is controlling what are law enforcement agencies, in controlling what is the people of the state that are monitoring with these demons of law enforcement agencies. 5UDT583, 3653Z handicap. I think I read that one already though. 08140J3. And so I am currently completed my purchase, and I'm walking through the parking lot, and that's what I'm reading lights place as I do that. So I want to point out something. What is revealed about the pattern of conduct is that which is occurring on a ceaseless basis. And this is what you're understanding about a very violent sex offender. 7PLW868. While you are, and I'm pointing out, you've witnessed it, and I've also pointed out, for example, on my podcast, what you're listening to in the background, the entity as it's engaging in the pattern of conduct, you're paying attention to what I'm doing, or as I'm telling you what I just did and what you heard, and what it is that is on who's crossing path and what I'm talking about as they do so. The entity does this by plane, by helicopter. The entity does this by law enforcement as they listen to what it is that I'm talking about. So while you are paying attention to that, you are understanding what is very heavy-duty stalking conduct by an entity that is paying very close attention to everything that's underway. It's not just the words that I speak, it's what's going on inside of a private space. So while you are in the grocery store, all right, and you are subject to what are stalkers that are hovering around you as you make any stop from motion, which is what I'm doing. I'm looking at water bottles, for example. And while I stop, you'll have a demon that's stopped right next to me. 6FMG560, 6KUC785, and that's just the one that I'm looking at. Okay, I'm not going to lose my cool and looking in all directions, looking at all the demons at the same. And you don't need to do that. Okay, I'm documenting what is an entity. All right, it's not individualized. I don't need to get every single face of Satan that's surrounding me. First of all, there's more than one method of documentation. I do capture what needs to be captured as I'm observing it, though. I do that. But I'm not going to turn around and look at all the demons at the same time, because they're coming from every direction, and they're psychopaths. 1420241, that's Omnitrans that you hear, bus 1292, license 7XCB636. They are engaging what is hovering around me at every moment that I do something, especially if they do something new. So I'm looking around, I'm looking at patients, I'm walking in the store, I stop walking, I'm examining water bottle. What type of water bottle do I want to buy? As I do that, stalking with activity, hovering, psychopaths. Like they're looking at the macaroni and cheese next to the water, they're stalking in the grocery store. How do you know that? Because light is on the ceiling inside of the grocery store. That's how you know that. They're demons that are stalking, okay? Because you have light that is inexplicably in the middle of the floor, because you have more than one shadow that's moving in front of you inside of that venue on the floor. That's how you know that. Because a light source that's not possibly the sun and not remaining over for example, over the Family Community Library all day in alignment with the entrance is over me in Fontana at this Stater Brothers. That's how you know that. License 61664D2. That's American Medical Response Crossing Path. That's how you know that. All right. And so you're talking about what is obsessive stalking, and they engage in this conduct, which you are already aware of based on the environment. And then as you are paying attention to that environment, you are witnessing what is a stalking conduct by those who are demons, who are paying very close attention, keeping that third eye on you while looking as though they're focused on the cornbread. They're looking at the macaroni and cheese. They're looking at the hard-boiled eggs over there. All right. They're talking to the employee about where they can find the hot cereal aisle. OK, they are keeping a third eye on you. They're stalking. All right, they're asking that question. They're stopping and looking at that inventory. They are restocking and closing doors and making noise, in other words, using the PA system based on what you're doing. They're demons. All right, and so I want to be clear, that's very close attention by an entire people. Everybody in the building, wrap your mind around it. Everybody, and that's just in the building where you're at. Okay, you're only human. You can only document and observe so much. All right, and it's not too much to do. You're just talking about what is, first of all, becoming aware. Open up your eyes. And second of all, you're going to document. And third of all, do not get lost. Do not get lost. You're documenting the government. You do not have to get every minion's name. You don't have to travel up and down the state. You're documenting the government's pattern of conduct. So like I said, you have what is this obsessive level of stalking. This is informative because the same obsessive level of stalking is occurring while you are in the private space. Demons are hovering in the grocery store. All right, you're hovering. Yes, indeed you are. As I make any sudden move, you make sure that they're right there. Okay, they're making sure that it is replaced with any other person, and it is obsessive stalking. That is translated into what is the sex offender in the private space. Let me be clear. Let me be very, very clear. First of all, the environment remains, and second of all, that same obsessive stalking conduct, what the Ontario Police Department are demonstrating out here in the streets, this is what it is. It's not wise on the part of but like I said, I'm not only going to prosecute you, I'm going to reveal everything about what you're doing, everything, every angle of it. And this sex offender is engaging in that same knowledge, same obsessive conduct and concentration and tuning in, having no right to do so, engaging in what is sexually violent and predatory while doing so, while you're in a private space. You know exactly where I'm at while you're listening to everything that I'm saying. You're also listening to everything while I'm inside of a bathroom, while I'm inside of whatever venue, wherever it is that I live, wherever it is that I happen to be remaining, all right, subject to what is surveillance by those same demons who are not only engaging in what is criminal while you're engaged in surveillance with the government, you're engaged in what is invasion of privacy while you're a demon that's keeping a third eye, as I'll refer to it, keeping a third eye on you. You know exactly what's going on in the bathroom. You're a violent sex offender, okay? A freak of nature who is in the same way that you see in a grocery store, in the same way that you see on these streets while I'm documenting these license plates, these minions stalking from intersection to intersection as I would walk from up in California. That's all the minions are doing. Aiming light on me from the Citibank parking lot while I'm in the Fontana Chambers Commerce parking lot. Your headlights aren't touching on me. You're stalking. And you know exactly where I'm at and what I'm doing in the bathroom as well. And it reveals directly that. It is directly relevant to what is a ceaseless pattern of conduct. That pattern of conduct is underway inside of what is a private space. And so that's what I want to remind you of, what I am documenting this. And you are understanding what is the prosecution of the perpetual sex offender. All right. And they include the following: 8 ELS 689, 8 DBN 908, 5 KCL 930, 6 LSH 854, 8 SKF 175, 8 HRX 349, 7 ENP 235. CB57Y07 paper, SMC California 441278, license 898. Oh, I can't really see that one. License plate, this perpetual sex offender, 6EPC 046, license 7YKK728, and it's currently 10:07 a.m. So I want to point that out. That remains directly relevant. You're documenting the sex offender not just while you're in there observing the elements as they're underway, but while you're not in the bathroom. Okay, I'm in the grocery store. I'm on the bus. You're looking at what is stalking with light, going to that extreme, stalking by police. They're going to that they're using all those resources, expenditure, all that time. You're using up police vehicles and because you're stalking. Let me tell you something. That carries on into the bathroom, the sex offender. That same level and extremity of conduct is applying when you are physically indisposed, genitalia exposed, engaged in private activity. They are not respecting your privacy. They are not taking a pause. Hold on. Let her go to the bathroom real quick. No, that's not what's going on at all. And it is entirely unreasonable to even suggest that or expect that. And I've also demonstrated it, the sex offense that is underway inside of the private space. But this is common sense. You're documenting the sex offender while you're in the grocery store. That same stalking conduct is underway by American Medical Response, a sex offender, knowing exactly where I'm at, knowing exactly what I'm doing. You're monitoring while I'm in the bathroom too, and my panties are down. All right. License 7TQV124, 7CTZ505, 8 MOP210, 5 SPR339, group stalking inside of what is 16866, Allard Engineering. This is a minion that comes out to start the vehicle. Activity creation. Already knows where I'm at. That's the sex offender, okay? 5 SPR339. It's the same thing in the bathroom. All them demons sitting up in there in that computer lab, light on the ceiling, okay? Light on the floor. But it's not funny because you're talking about what's a sex offender, but I'm just showing, I take pleasure in showing them what are the goofy demons that they are. You literally look stupid. You are literally caught with a smoking gun in your hand, and you're a violent sex offender, the most demented, okay? And these are the people that are creeping around, monitoring you, engaging in surveillance, listening to whatever it is that you have going on in the bathroom, listening to what you're doing in the bathroom as you're doing it, engaging in this ongoing obsessive stalking conduct while you're doing it, in the same way that they're hovering all around in a grocery store, on the street, coming out of the blue. If I make any sudden moves, in order to surround and touch with light, that's what they're doing while you're in a bathroom. They're engaged in that same stalking and surveillance conduct. 8KNV277, crossing path while I'm on the side street. 8BQV166. And again, this is called Allard Engineering. That's where that demon comes out of this venue. She is group stalking. She's in relevant position doing so. She's creating activity for the minions who are also monitoring. And again, this is 16866 Seville Avenue. That's the street we're on right now. Just want to document that venue as well. License 6DZA997. Sitting in their vehicle, engaged in surveillance, maintenance of presence in the path while I'm walking down the street. I just walked down the side street to get a license, to get license plates, and you're able to fully witness what is surveillance by minions who are stalking in the path. And at nightfall, they're doing this with methods of light activity. But again, there are demons that are manifesting light. This is Satan that's stalking you, lining the path of wherever it is that you're going, and manifesting light. Demons manifest light. 8KNV277. That's the same pattern of conduct that's underway at nightfall. They're sitting in parking lots, aiming their vehicles toward the bus that I'm on, or I'm walking down the street, and they're in vehicles. Not only are you driving by, engaging in that conduct, sitting around in parking lots, sitting on the side of the road, they're manifesting light. It's group conduct. It's entirely demonic. License 6DIS198, 8DDK584. See, 87, or hold on, I'll get this. 97983Z2, 8ZAR697, MAYJ53, BM40W59, paper. 7RAR296, 7RAR296, 5PXS212, 6DIS198, yeah, I read that one already, 5RHE651, 7EQZ920, 7LBW288, 8VZM632, 7STZ415, 37948G3, 8TQS062, 6SWL501, 6RCG005, 7GVE911, and this is 8PUM515, 6SWL501. I read that one already. And I read that one already. AM92410. That's an out-of-state license plate. And it's 10:13 a.m. 6HEH286. $53311B2 SoCal Gas. 7YLU966. 5T44252. 5THC 899. 7GKF014. 57299L1. That's Sunrise Medical Trans, pacing up and down the street, crossing path. And that minion is monitoring on his communication device while he's crossing path in that vehicle. 6NYH953, 7N99088, 5HUE256, 8YBU183. License 6XHJ694, 8Y01754, Mariposa, 8ETP304, 7SPW844, 8RIB443, BF71P29, paper, 9051OC2. This minion stalking at this side street where I'm at, the loud one, 6ZQC820. That's a stalker that's present as I walk to what is learner in order to be here and meet while they are maintaining presence in the path. 7HRLO12. Now they're all stalking together. Understand that based on whatever route that I'm walking. And so as I walk to this side street, which is learner, this is in between what is this little theater on here that is the center stage on Sierra Avenue and Arrow. And it is between the library and this theater. This is where learner is. And as I approach the street, you have a minion that crosses path, okay? The meeting, I put that in air quotes, demons meet you, making sure they are present in any open space, any driveway area that's stalking in the path. It's 10:15 a.m. That's audible activity. Brinks stalking with the state that's flying over my head, 2961895. Vehicle 192402. Brinks engaged in kidnapping with the Sheriff's Department and is monitoring with that same government that engaged in kidnapping by an entity while they were monitoring me at West Valley Detention Center. And they're crossing path. The entity is flying directly over the learner, the street right above the library where I am walking. And as I literally point my camera out to take a picture, flying up above the clouds, immediately disappearing. That's the government that is placing a fake sun over my head where I am looking out of the window of the computer lab. That's the side where I'm at, where Brink Security is crossing path, which you see in the image. License 51768T2, 7GZJ223. This is surveillance that's underway at the Fontana Lewis Library, which is the state facilitating venue, and that's the government that's engaged in surveillance with all those minions that are inside. They represent the people of the state, and it's an entirely demonic system that they're engaged in with the government that's flying over the library, amplifying that activity, and that is engaging in conduct that you see, which is of Satan, light across the ceiling, light reaching into and touching on the ground, which is heavily documented inside of that same computer lab. It's already documented. And I've already documented light on the ceiling as well, but I documented it again yesterday. And you have what is occurring, which is the fake sun that's directly above the window. This is all manner of the presence of Satan that's flying over me by airplane over the library. 8HHU579, 7SKZ075, 7KRH413, 7FFW134. And let me be clear, what the entity is doing, what Brinks is doing, what the entity is doing at this library, this is what they're doing while my panties are down. The people of the state are engaged in surveillance, and that is the people of the state that shall be prosecuted for what is ongoing surveillance no matter where you live. The people of the state are the vicarious aspect of that entity engaging in what is criminally violent, terrorizing, and sexually predatory conduct. 8LGS029, 8GXU278, SMTH731, 8PLG154. The entities surrounding Miller Amphitheater, that's City of Fontana with light activity, 6XTE135, that's exactly what it is while the entity is hovering over my aircraft. By the way, just pointing out what is ongoing hallmarks. Not only have I documented what is a pattern of conduct, I'm showing you what's common sense when you have one engaging in that conduct. That's exactly what that's why they're doing that. It is light activity in relevant position. This minion that's at license 8HHU579 is stalking in front of the library, pacing back and forth. This is the same venue where the entity is documented engaging, stalking with the fakes. There is no day, and this is the entity just being documented because you don't have any form. So you're engaged in plain stalking conduct. 8RKV772. 7MLC183, 8GNY045, 7HRL012, 61604U1, 3MTS7D3. And that is the City of Fontana that is also a sex offender. So understand that. It's currently, by the way, 10:19 a.m. All right, you got this demon-possessed entity stalking into the bathroom, following me into the bathroom. So I did step out. So they're already on surveillance cameras, but I want you to see the demons that are engaged in surveillance while this entity follows me into the bathroom. That's the violent sex offender that's hovering and stalking in a grocery store, following from place to place, flying, hovering over the library, and then following into the bathroom. That's a very violent sex offender, and I will document that. And that is at Fontana Lewis Library at 10:22 a.m. Just want to document. This entity that is engaged in surveillance, listening to me pull my panties down, listening to me lock the door, listening to the toilet flushing, listening to me pull my panties back up, listening to that private activity inside of the bathroom. That is how closely they are listening. The entity that's already stalking in relevant position, for example, the people of the state that are in the computer lab, whose images I just captured, who remain on surveillance camera, they're already monitoring. The entity follows into the bathroom. They are continuously engaged in monitoring while the entity then amplifies the sound of audible activity inside of the bathroom. And it's supposed to be occurring under the guise of what's here, water cycling, piping through the wall. This is audible activity in engineered light. This is demonic conduct that's occurring in a bathroom. It is occurring the same venue where the entity is flying over the computer lab, keeping a fake sun over the computer lab, aiming directed light into the computer lab, engaging in what is the ongoing stalking with activity inside of the bathroom in the computer lab. So I want to be clear, they remain engaged in surveillance. That was the affirmative and sexually violent and entirely demented conduct of being of that condition. This is a demon that follows me right into the bathroom doors while you're already engaged in surveillance while the entity is amplifying audible activity. That includes the employees, okay? It's not an exception. And the city of Fontana is creating light activity while that audible activity is surrounding me while my pants are down, while my panties are down, and they're engaging in surveillance at that. You're understanding what is a sex offender that's hovering in a grocery store, monitoring every move that's what they're doing while they're in the bathroom and creating ongoing audible activity while doing so, while you're not even in operation of a phone. This is what I'm saying. This is demonic, and it's also sexually violent. It is exceeding what is interstate stalking. And interstate stalking, current federal legislation does not go far enough because the entity is a sex offender. The entity is engaging in what is at its core demonic while interstate stalking is underway. Okay, so I want to document that it's 10:27 a.m. And the cafe, the minions that work at the cafe, they are monitoring. You're talking about what is not the guise of that blender being heard through the walls. Understand, it's the same demonic pattern of conduct. The employees and the minions sitting in the computer lab engaged in the same exact pattern of conduct, okay? So it's currently 10:27 a.m. I just want to bring that to the forefront of your mind. That this is sexual violence. This is federal stalking by entity in the bathroom, which is a sexually violent pattern of conduct. This is P.O.C. All right, 10:49 a.m. Entity sounding sirens as I'm documenting group stalkers inside of the computer lab. These are the same minions under the fake sun yesterday and in the director light that was across the ceiling. And the entity that's monitoring with law enforcement with the demons of the fire department, with the demons of American Medical Response that are sounding sirens while they're being documented. This is state surveillance inside of the library, and that ongoing sexual violence is underway while they're engaging in that same ongoing knowledge of what I'm doing, and then following into the bathroom. So you're understanding that P.O.C. and that sex offender that is amplifying the sound of sirens as the entity is being documented. That ongoing knowledge is underway while they're monitoring in a bathroom. It's 10:49 a.m. Okay, 1 p.m. you have the female janitor who you see with the ear-length bob. She's got like orange-colored ear-length bob, wearing a green shirt. First of all, she's a demon. She's engaged in what is demonic activity, which is serving criminal monitoring inside of the venue. This janitor enters inside of the bathroom. She's engaging in what is the form of what is providing janitorial services while she's engaged in surveillance in the bathroom and doing so in concert with the minions. You have what is the Asian couple. So through the bathroom tiles, you're hearing what is talking and closing cabinets. That's demonic, okay? But it's audible activity in the bathroom where they're all engaged in ongoing knowledge of what you're doing in the bathroom. And then that is the janitor, the sex offender. I captured her image. I captured her on video the other day while the fake sun was over the back portion of Sierra. And this morning captured images of what is patrolling with using the trash cans with the other third party. They're both wearing green shirts. These are demons that are patrolling in directed light. Their double shadows are appearing on that wall. That's why I took pictures of them walking in engineered light while they're stalking. And she's doing so entering inside of the bathroom as well. This is a demon that's entering and doing so under what is supposed to be the facilitation of her job. I'm sorry, that's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be under the appearance of, oh, I'm cleaning toilets, I'm cleaning the bathroom. That's why I'm in here stalking on behalf of the state. Whatever it is you call yourself doing while you're stalking on behalf of the state, you're doing it in the bathroom. That's a sex offender. And all of these demons are in the exact same environment, monitoring with this demon that follows into the bathroom to create that activity. She walks into all 3 stalls, flushes all the toilets, and walks right out. That's activity creation. In doing so, as I walk out on surveillance camera and I walk out to make sure I want to see who it is, and I did capture her image, I want you to see the demons that are engaging in the sexual violence. It is also the Asian couple. Those are demons that are targeting. Understand, you cannot hear cabinets closing. You're not going to hear conversation through the tiles. In the same way at the Upland Public Library, you can't hear kids walking upstairs. You're not going to hear them running. You're not going to hear them talking amongst their parents. Those are demons that are targeting where it is that you are. That's demonic activity. Okay, you're dealing with the supernatural. You're not dealing with flesh and blood. Okay, in the natural, you cannot hear that, but you're dealing with those who are demon possessed. You're in what is a demonic environment. And so this is how I'm speaking to what is the activity creation, the methods. I'm speaking to what you're going to see on surveillance cameras. I'm speaking to what it is that I'm capturing images and video of. And then I'm also telling you at the same time, what is the activity that's surrounding me? And it is absolutely impossible that that activity would be perceived. All right. And so that is understanding what is the demonic. In the same way, when you're looking at a video and you see that light source above my head looking out the window of the computer lab, that's impossible. It's not the actual sun that would be that's placed there above my head, not sunlight that's sprawling into the in the library, in the computer lab, on the ceiling, okay, and also then downward on the floor. It's impossible. This is what I mean by impossible, but it is occurring. This is demonic that is occurring. And it's sexual violence while they follow into the bathroom doing that. It's also sexually violent while they engage in sexual violence upon being documented as to what they are doing on behalf of a state that's a very demented sex offender. This is the government that's engaging in that. The state of California is a sex offender, the people of the state, a sex offender, and to be prosecuted for that uniformly, okay? This is conduct on behalf of an entity. It's 1:03 p.m. The entity engaged in ongoing surveillance, and then they engage in what is coming into the bathroom to create more activity. And everything that they're doing, their presence is all based around me, and that's what's so both at the same time pathetic, but it's also terrorism. I'm prosecuting on behalf of the ordinary target individual, creating what is uniform policy in order to protect the targeted individual subject to surveillance by the people, by the state, whatever state that you happen to be in. It's 1:04 p.m. That's called audible activity. It's occurring with simultaneity to my reaching for a paper towel in the bathroom. That's called stalking with activity. The same exact pattern of conduct, which is demonic, follows into the private space, and that's speaking to what is a sex offender engaging in surveillance. So I just want to document that. That's what you're listening to. And in reality, outside of what is demonic, you're not going to hear water cycling in the bathroom stalls. It's not going, also, you're not going to hear the minions that are on the opposite side at the cafe, them closing cabinet doors, like they're rumbling something right next to you. That is demonic conduct. You're dealing with the demonic. So I want to be clear. It is under all circumstances where the government is engaged in surveillance, which it is. It's already established. It's activity creation. I am breaking down for you what's demonic activity, but it is under all circumstances, as I just documented. In addition to what is my voice, while they're engaged in surveillance, I'll prosecute for that. The government has no business placing me under surveillance in the bathroom. It's a sex offender. But the activity that is created in the bathroom is facilitating ongoing surveillance. And all these demons, including those who work here, including those who are here on surveillance camera, not just in the computer lab, okay? But I captured many of their images. They're monitoring right now. They're sex offenders. All right, that obsessive stalking follows into the bathroom. And that is impossible audible activity inside of the bathroom. You're not going to hear the sinks. You're not going to hear what is that ongoing, it's supposed to be that which is appropriated for the bathroom. So you're in the bathroom, so it's realistic that you're hearing what? Toilets flushing from the men's restroom? Actually, that's a demon that's in that restroom in relevant position, and amplified audible activity is occurring. Okay, that's a demon engaging in conduct in the natural. And what is the supernatural? The fact that you're hearing anything because you're not going to. This is the pattern of conduct document at the Upland Public Library, at Starbucks at 706 West Holt, at the Ovid Family Community Library, where the entity is engaging in the heavily documented P.O.C. at all of those aforesaid venues as well. It is the pattern. It is surveillance in the bathroom. It's 1:07 p.m. This is sexual violence at Fontana Lewis Library, where the entity is, as I captured, Brinks security crossing path while the entity was crossing path, flying directly over my head, hovering over the Fontana Lewis Library. That government is engaging in surveillance with these demons who are engaged in stalking inside of the venue, as Brinks security was stalking outside of the venue while I was walking here. This is ongoing, ceaseless stalking and surveillance. It's 1:08 p.m. P.O.C. Is everything okay back here? Yeah, because you guys are really loud. That's why I'm asking.
So are you when you're talking?
When I'm documenting how loud you are, yeah, I am. But I'm asking, are you okay? You guys are slamming stuff. Are you angry about something?
No.
Or you seem like you're angry because I'm asking you that question. Are you sure? I am minding my business. Anything else? Okay, so these are the minions, and I will remind you about the pattern of conduct that they're engaged in, the very demonic activity that they're engaging in. And so I'm just referencing minions and asking them the question that I already know the answer to. They're back here being demons. These are the same minions who are stalking in the path and molesting with directed light. These minions are the same ones that are inside stalking with noise. Closing a door sounds like a mini bomb. All right, putting down a water bottle on the desk is creating vibration in the these are demons, okay? And they're engaging in what is harassment by an entity engaged in federal stalking. And so that's why I'm documenting while you're listening to me address what is a demon who's engaging in stalking, who's engaging in interstate stalking, a sex offender who was present on behalf of the state, joined with the rest of these minions who are engaging in what is activity creation and directed light. And everything that they are doing and saying is pursuant to what I am doing. That's a psychopath. This is they are acting together. So you have what is, if you're wrapping your mind, you've seen the hundreds of videos of what are the demons on the roads and the highways stalking with directed light. That's the demon possessed. They are concentrating presence around me inside of the computer lab, all of them together stalking with noise. Okay, and so this is why I address what is a demon-possessed psychopath over here who's stalking and asking, is everything okay? Because they are engaged in substantial noise creation while they're monitoring and also what is expressing hostility as the minions that they are. And this is harassment while they're engaging in that conduct. Then it's also harassment while a minion that's stalking, okay? And everything about the pattern of conduct is already established. This is the same minion that's in the room with light sprawling across the ceiling. And you have what is the creation of sensational activity while demons are entering and exiting, walking in and out of the bathroom. This is ongoing demonic activity that's underway. So I want to document that. The same overweight Latino male, this overweight African-American female who's, you see her doing something with her matted hair. She's doing this in directed light. She's being a demon. It's all about what is stalking and monitoring and harassment as the demon possessed, engaging in ongoing activity creation. I am speaking to what is the criminalization of this conduct. It's entirely demented, and you have what are the same demons that you see on the roads and the highways while directed light is all over the asphalt, moving across the buildings. For example, Casa Barreto. Those demons are coming inside of a computer lab, concentrating presence, stalking, present on behalf of the state, engaging in ongoing activity creation, and doing so for the duration of the day in the same way that the entity keeps a light source, which is not the sun, over this building for the duration of the day. That is the personification of that satanic conduct that's active in every single person. These are the demon possessed. So this is why I am documenting that, and they are engaged in ongoing incessant noise making, which rises in volume as they are aware of what it is that I am doing as I'm doing it on a communication device. So these are the demon possessed population engaging in what is interstate stalking, but it is with regard to practicality and breaking it down, while the demon possessed are engaged in this level of stalking and stalking not just physically but stalking with noise altogether, that's the government engaging in what is harassment on behalf of the entity that is placing you under surveillance by these demons who are maintaining close presence. All right, and so this is what an entity is doing, and this is what the entity is doing as a means of facilitation, because of, again, the pattern of conduct exceeds what's going on in this computer lab. And that's the conduct of psychopaths, and that is terrorism while they're engaging in that. This is what is the ongoing pattern of conduct with knowledge of the fact that you're being documented. That's an impermissible threat. And this is what the people are engaging in on a constant basis. And like I said, you can look at a video, any one, and you're looking at what is directed light. That is the demonic, that impossible manifestation of light across the highway onto a surface while they're crossing path. They're engaging in the same demonic activity with regard to audible activity creation. All right, it does not create the sound of a mini bomb closing the bathroom door. Is that which is not going to be heard while I'm listening to anything on my headphones. It is that which is used to create sensational activity by a demon who was targeting. Okay, it's used to create what is amplified audible activity by a demon. Okay, who is targeting. And so I just want to be clear, this is the same demonic activity as it's underway inside of the venue of Fontana Lewis Library, and that is the audible activity of what is a minion that's been engaged in ongoing surveillance for the duration of the day. And these demons are doing nothing but taking shifts, just exchanging one face after another, and as they are monitoring together on behalf of the same exact entity. That's the public entity. It's 5:19 p.m. And this is P.O.C. at the Fontana Lewis Library, and this is the sex offender that's engaging in that conduct as well. Ready? P.O.C.
checking now. That we know of.
That's the overweight minion with the red hoodie, causing vibration on this desk. That's impossible light, audible activity, sensational activity. These are demons that are monitoring what I'm publishing online.
Bueno, apenas ya me aprendí. Sí.
That's sensational activity while this demon places something on the desk partition. She's seats away from me. This is a demon. 8 and 6 p.m. These are the demons that engage in dragging directed light. They're in a room creating ongoing noise. That's a psychopath. That is the people of the state that we prosecuted. It's called harassment by entity. Psychopaths. It's terrorism. Pay attention. And remember, this is occurring in what is engineered light. It's the P.O.C. It's a demonic activity that is entirely criminal. This is why the fake sun remains over the venue, aiming directed light. Okay? That's what they're doing. And it's general hostility by the loser that is Satan. Literally mad about what I'm publishing. And I'm going to prosecute for this as well. It's pathetic. It's sad. But this is terrorism and this is informative, so. These minions are in here. Again, the minions that work here, they're the same condition, stalking together and stalking with noise, which is what you hear. Being in the computer area where I'm at inside of the library, you're not going to hear the door closing. It's not going to create a loud boom. It's certainly not going to be heard while you're wearing headphones, drowning out the noises. These are demons that are doing so. Showing you at 6:06 p.m. the African American librarian. He's a demon. He's stalking in the path. He's engaging in what is stalking with noise as well. They are doing so pursuant to real-time knowledge of what I'm publishing on the internet as I'm doing it. This is monitoring, and it's also harassment by an entity that's engaged in what is interstate stalking with the state. And this is the conduct that demons engage in. So this is the criminalization of what is demonic. Stalking on behalf of the government while you're engaged in the elements of monitoring is prosecution of what's harassment as an entity as well. It's 6:07 p.m. These minions keep their back to me when they know they're being documented. Oh boy. The living dead. They engage in the deeds of death as well. Loud noise, chaotic environment. And that's why they're also going to be prosecuted for what is harassment. Because while Stephanie and the minions who are identified by name are monitoring and being demons stalking with noise, creating substantial disturbance all day, okay, are engaging in then what is monitoring me by engaging in targeting conduct and asking me to be quiet. This is a psychopath that is monitoring me via noise, in a fake sun, and directed light, molesting, and doing so with the people of the state for the duration of an entire day, every day, stalking. Okay, that's a psychopath. That's referred to as harassment by an entity. It's 6:08 p.m. The African American librarian. He's going to be seen on surveillance cameras. He's stalking with activity. All right. Meaning moving as I begin moving. That's what's his inspiration for physical movement down the hallway in relevant position. This is a demonic activity that I'm documenting. The entity engaging ongoing amplification of noise. Meaning as you open or close, as you walk through the door or exit the building, it's not going to be heard it's not going to create what is the loud noises that are being created. And it's so loud that as I'm wearing headphones and listening to something at a loud enough volume to drown out what would be even conversation sitting next to me, these demons that are engaging in very close, hovering, stalking conduct, not only physically, but with regard to an intent to harass with noise making that they are targeting with their demons doing so. All right, so understand, first of all, this is the same entity that's stalking with directed light. Demons manifesting light, that's demonic, okay? They are inside of a building engaging in what is demonic activity, and this is the amplification of noise. And I've just used the word amplification in order that you will understand that the noise is louder than it actually is. These are demons engaging in what is conduct which you are looking at in the natural. Somebody walking through a door and the door closing is not going to create a loud sonic boom, boom. And it's so loud that I'm hearing it through the headphones. All right, this is a pattern. The entity engaging in this conduct all day long, they're doing so, again, in the specific environment. Heavily documented, maintenance of a fake sun all day, maintenance of directed light all day, inside and outside. I'm showing you the double shadows. This is the pattern of conduct, and this is demonic activity that the people of the state, these same demons who are dragging with directed light outside, manifesting light, are inside, and this is demonic with regard to what is the audible activity creation. It's not only monitoring, it's harassment while demons are engaging in that conduct. All right, and so it's 6:18 p.m. This is conduct that is engaged in both by the employees. These are demons who engage in targeting as well, requesting that I, first of all, be quiet. When first of all, you're stalking, you're monitoring me, you're a violent sex offender, you're all manner of a threat. And not only that, you're a loud demon who's stalking and monitoring all day long, okay? And so this is what I mean when I'm identifying a psychopath. That's exactly what I mean. And this is what I'm taking pictures of. I'm showing you images of, first of all, a demon. Demon doesn't have a race, doesn't have a specific hairstyle. Many of them do not carry themselves very well, personally. But like I said, these are the demon-possessed who are stalking inside of this building, engaging in what is demonic activity while directed light remains present, while outside touching, molesting, following with directed light, while ongoing activity surrounds. It's the same P.O.C. It's occurring at what is a different type of venue. I'm remaining stationary inside of a building all day long. You're talking about surrounding all day long with what is our ongoing methods of noise, okay? Ongoing noise. And everything that the demon-possessed are doing, this is all of their condition at the same time on behalf of the government. This is the government through every single person. And it's also Satan through every single person. They're all demon-possessed. And you have what is the incessant noise making, and doing that at a level that is inherently disruptive. It's terrorizing while people engage in stalking and monitoring you and harassing via their demonic activity. Okay, so it's currently 6:19 p.m. and I wanted to document that. This is what the entity is doing with knowledge of the fact that it's being documented. This is what the entity is doing before I press record. This is what the entity does as I stop recording. It's an incessant pattern of conduct. And so I just want to speak to that. This is relevant. What you need to imagine in your mind, well, you don't have to imagine it. What you need to recall, remind cognizant of what you're witnessing. And what you've already witnessed is the stalking by the state. This is conduct that is done on behalf of the state. And what is the conduct? Again, it's activity creation. This is the ongoing creation of that environment that is facilitated and maintained inside of the venue that is indoors. This is the Fontana Lewis Library, but it's also showing you what are the cockroaches. There is nothing dignified. There's nothing sophisticated or classy. There's nothing impressive about San Bernardino County Fontana Lewis Library and Technology Center. They are the same despicable, sexually perverted, predatory, and demented psychopaths. And that is what is the affect of demon possession. You're listening to it. Somebody that's in the background laughing like they're not focused on what they're creating audible activity, monitoring me, and using the sound of laughter to do so, while they are listening and hovering over every syllable that I utter. That is what Satan is doing through people, and that this is already shown through that environment. And so that environment includes what is the light source. That environment includes what is directed light. And like I said, and I will remind you again, I've shown you the entity stalking with directed light inside of Dunkin' Donuts. Those were demons engaging in surveillance. I've shown you what is directed light inside of this venue. I'll remind you of that. I've shown you what is directed light inside of the Ovid Family Community Library. I've shown you what is directed light inside of the Upland Public Library. This is the entity engaging in surveillance and stalking, maintaining ongoing stalking presence. While you are maintaining presence through a group of people, or even if you just kept one minion in here all day long, they are stalking in the path with intention in the specific environment, and they are psychopaths that are engaging in ongoing chorus of what is noise, and it's harassment, because it's also pursuant to what I do as I do it, what I'm publishing on the internet, identifying third parties. Boom, you're hearing loud noise. This is Satan reacting in real time to what it's monitoring that I'm publishing on the internet. Psychopaths engage in this conduct, okay? Criminals engage in this conduct. And this is criminal conduct, which is also highly demented. It's of the demonic. It is speaking to what is pervasive darkness that covers the Fontana Lewis Library. Nothing classy about San Bernardino County. All right, so let me get that clear. When you're hearing their ways in which they are approaching, and this is nothing other than Satan. And you're talking about what is stalking while you're on the job at the Fontana Lewis Library, and that's what these minions are doing. All right, so it's currently 6:22 p.m., and that is the context to what the entity is doing. This is harassment by an entity. This is the impermissible threat. This is documentation that's serving to prosecute the people of the state uniformly, not just the minions that are on surveillance camera, nonetheless, who are all of them documented in more than one manner. With regard to your presence, you're working here, you're being here, using the resources. This is all manner of the ability to document. It's not hard, and there's more than one method other than my documentation. But like I said, this is going toward the prosecution of the people of the state, period. What the government is doing through the people, the government is doing through all of the people, and the people of the state, whatever state that is, shall be prosecuted for it. It's 6:23 p.m. This is P.O.C. Excuse me, are you the janitor here? You're cleaning you're the janitor, you clean in here every night? Yeah. Oh, okay, thank you. Sensational activity creation and ongoing amplified audible activity now via the janitor, another demon engaged in the exact same P.O.C. in concert with the minions who are stalking in relevant position. It's 7:11 p.m. while monitoring documentation. This is harassment at Fontana Lewis Library. And so let me be clear. The ground is not going to vibrate while you're emptying trash cans. Okay, this is demonic activity. The same exact pattern of conduct acting through these minimum wage paid janitors who are engaged in demonic activity. This is P.O.C. Alrighty, 8 p.m. You have occupation in the private space by the third party who you see captured in images yesterday, stalking with activity inside of the computer lab, and then covering their face. This is a female that's in that computer lab last night, and this is the same one that's stalking in the bathroom, and you see maintaining presence along the wall, which is also in alignment with the toilet, but it's presence in the bathroom, period. But you're going to pay attention to what it's positioning, and this is a demon. And this is the same one that sits in a computer lab stalking with noise and then follows into the bathroom. That's not only the sex offender, understand this is terrorism by demons who are stalking in a bathroom, a demented sex offender. And that's the government. This is P.O.C. It's 8 p.m. Alrighty, want to document what is the pattern of conduct. This is the demon manifesting light at the stairway of the Fontana Lewis Library. And they are doing so in relevant position while the impossible audible activity of amplified Metro Link train activity is heard. 5FVF 589. And also, as I walk toward the vehicle, flashing directed light appears. 8SME 277, 8KYT 115, 8ZIM 488, 7NWV 869, 6WDU 300, and Metrolink is engaged in the P.O.C. by virtue of what is that impossible audible activity of the sound of a train. All right, that is that company engaged in the P.O.C. The entity is engaging in this stalking with light conduct while I am documenting inside of the bathroom. This African-American female, she is the one, as I mentioned, she is seen inside of the computer lab in the evening yesterday around closing time, well, not closing time, but around the time that I was leaving. And I leave a little bit before 8 o'clock. the library, and she is sitting in the computer lab behind me, and she's covering up her face at the moment that I turn around and take a picture. I take a picture and document her presence because she's engaging in demonic conduct. She is stalking with the creation of audible activity. So what you heard today, as I just let the recorder run, you're hearing knocks and the sound of door closures, and all of which is louder than it actually is. Excuse me, did I get past? Thank you. All of it is louder than it normally is. That's that which is piercing through headphones that I have. You have what is also the activity that is indeed still within the pattern of conduct. Understand that these demons are also aware that they're being recorded while they continue to engage in the P.O.C, but that is relevant to what is the conduct that they're engaging in. 1509105, that's hemorrhaging fire, molesting. 8 TPC 552, molesting as well. All right, and these demons sitting in the parking lot, aiming their vehicles, and then they just hop out like it matters what you're doing while you're stalking in the path with light. 5GDL243, monitoring around the perimeter with light, engaging in demonic terrorism. 8KUR054, monitoring with the San Bernardino County Fire Department. 7YQH134, this is demonic. They're stalking all around in the path with light. 7FBP087. And again, these are the demons that are driving, for example, on Citibank grounds, and while I'm in this parking lot, light is touching me because that's not your headlights. These are demons who are manifesting light. That's what they're doing. BF19Y45. And so with regard to that, HNTMBLE, with regard to what you heard, it is the pattern of conduct, but let me be clear, the entity is also aware that it's being recorded. All right, so you have what is ongoing. They didn't stop. You heard what is ongoing noise that was also muted, and by muted I don't mean mute and sound as though you can't hear it. I mean restrained because I am recording it. But nonetheless, I'm still documenting, and I still captured what is amplified sound of incessant door closures. Everybody's getting up, going to the bathroom, repeatedly door close. Any method of what is noise, getting up and going to the bathroom, in other words, is the method of a demon's creation of audible activity, because that's supposed to be the form. It's the sound of the door. That's occurring. 8 VIP 288, molesting. That's the sound of the door closure that's occurring with simultaneity to what I'm doing. And a demon is engaging in that uncanny ability to do so in the same way that demons are engaging in manifesting light on buildings and across roads and highways and up trees and up into creating light on the ceilings and whatnot. Right? These are demons that are engaging in what is demonic with sound. Okay. The sound of the door closing as you're walking in and exiting is creating a disturbance in the library, where it's supposedly quiet at that. But like I said, it's creating an ongoing disturbance in the library, and that is that which is not ordinarily going to even be heard because you're walking out of the library. Not everyone's going to know that by virtue of hearing the door closing. All right. So you have what is amplification of everything that these demons are doing while they're pushing in a chair. Drinking from a water bottle and then placing that water bottle on the desk. All right, in the demon that is emptying the trash. Okay, while he is doing so, vibration, shaking of the ground. All right, that's and under no circumstances naturally occurring. This is demonic, and it's also the conduct of a minion that is monitoring documentation, because that's what I was doing. I was reviewing my documentation that I just published about them, and while doing that, you have the creation of sensational activity. And so that's when you can hear me, my recording on my podcast. I ask him if he's a janitor, not because I don't know, but because I'm identifying the images that I just took a picture of and the criminal that's working for that venue that's engaging in that terrorism. And that's who I'm referencing. 8VKT415, molesting. It's currently 8:10 p.m. 7MIF161, molesting. 76600A1, molesting. Omnitrans is molesting. Route 312. And look at all this directed light right here. That's all directed light. All right, Omnitrans is molesting. There's literally a demon driving this bus. They look dead too. 8BXF316. You're looking at it directed light that's on the ground. That's not their headlights. That's creating that piercing light that's appearing underneath each side of the vehicle, underneath the headlights. That's directed light. All right. And in addition to that, they are molesting. And while they are driving through traffic, the shadow of their vehicles is reaching across the street, as you see during the day while they're driving under the fake sun. This is all manner of what is ongoing demonic activity. It is another iteration of the same exact stalking with directed light. It's the same stalking with directed light when you see directed light flying across buildings and into hallways, as you saw across, for example, Casa Barreto on this same street, as you saw across the Fontana City Hall wall in front of that property, as you saw inside of the Fontana Lewis Library, where I'm showing you what is demonic activity that as they're engaging in what is ongoing activity creation, while a bunch of demons sit around making noise all day, loud disturbances while they're monitoring, and also engaging in just hostility in general. The entity is engaging in this conduct, like you saw with directed light at Legal Services Center, inside of that hallway where you saw Mr. Castañeda, his bald head, directed light flashing in that hallway in the dark. Absolutely impossible light. Another example of what are the demon possessed. That same demonic entity, they're acting on behalf of a government. This is state surveillance. That demon possessed entity is stalking inside of the Fontana Lewis Library. And my capturing the audible activity that they are creating inside of that library is that which is amplified in volume. All right, everything is extraordinarily loud as these demons close a door, walk into a bathroom, and the door closes behind them. As they are in the bathroom flushing toilets, everything is on a microphone. All right, everything is extraordinarily loud, and it is also pursuant to the demonic behavioral pattern, as it always has a tendency to follow what it is that I'm doing as I click on something on the computer, as I download something, as I type in, for example, something particularly damning. If I identify a venue by name, it's literally a reaction by the demon possessed to what it is that I'm publishing. And you are talking about this is ongoing in the venue all day long. All they're doing is stalking. All right. And these demons that are manifesting light, like you see at the Legal Services Center, are then engaging in what is stalking, just remaining around me all day long inside of a computer lab. All right, stalking with activity. And you're looking at the stalking with activity, meaning stalking with ongoing noise. And they're doing so in the ongoing specific environment. I've shown you what is the directed light that's inside of that computer lab. The entity is keeping a fake sun hovering over my head as I look out the window. All right, light is sprawling across the ceiling. They're engaging in this stalking conduct amongst what is amplified audible activity, and it is entirely demented. Entirely demented. And so what I documented today, it is the pattern of conduct by that same demon-possessed entity, and they were also doing it while aware that they were being recorded. Okay? 8TMM838. The license plate, this one, 8KZE985. They're all molesting, including this one with the handicap license plate, molesting. DT323 handicap, he's molesting. He is the same demon-possessed entity that was stalking inside of the library all day long. All day long, engaging in harassment. That's the only thing that Satan can do, while it is not capable of stopping what is prosecution, what is ongoing revealing of the entire operation underway in California. So you're engaging in what is harassment all day long. And you'll be prosecuted for that. Understand what Satan is doing. And this is Satan. The environment I'm showing you, this is demonic, and the conduct that the people of the state are engaging in is demonic. 8LTL072, 84501J3, molesting. MAGFAM7, molesting. And they're monitoring with the demons sitting outside of Utopia Nails, outside of the, adjacent to the shoe works, turning their lights on and off. Remember, these are demons that are manifesting light. It's not headlights. That's why the tree has double shadows. These are sex offenders. That's license 4YPW, molesting a demon. Looks like a fat double chin fat female, white female is what I was saying, excuse me, who is stalking in the path of molesting while she's stalking. License 7LOR751 replaces that female that drives off. These are demons. 5J73108, outside a third-party facilitating venue, she works. It's currently 8:15 p.m. So I just want to be clear, not only the African American who you see, she is stalking in the bathroom by leaning up against the wall. This is a demon. So you are understanding what is the plight of the ordinary target individual, being surrounded by the government at all times. And not only that, those who are surrounding on behalf of the government are demons that are doing so and are concerned with everything that's going on with you in a private space such as a bathroom. They're stalking. They're stalking with noise in the same way that they're doing while I'm sitting at the computer. They're stalking with noise while I'm in a bathroom stall and my panties are down. Okay? That demonic activity, that ongoing knowledge, that ongoing stalking conduct, not only physically but with noise and with light, is ongoing in the private space. That is entirely terrorizing. 8XVH 647, I believe. I can't really see that one. And not just terrorizing, it's sexually violent and predatory. Okay? Molesting. License plate 8KZE985 at Sierra and Orange Way. Molesting with this demon as well. License 8TDV117, and the plaza at Sierra, those apartments, they're molesting as well. That entire venue, Village at Sierra, they're sex offenders. I read a lot of their license plates. They're engaged in the pattern of conduct. It's a facilitating venue. The people of the state are engaged in an ongoing sex offense. I just want to document that. And that demon makes a U-turn at the go on ahead, Satan. 8VJE101 molesting. That demon makes a U-turn at the street right here in order to touch me with light. Remember, it's not headlights. These are demons that are manifesting light and they want to touch you with it. 6RMU673, 7NWV869, 8YQV659 molesting, as well as 8KHG044 molesting. It is currently 8:17 p.m. and so like I was stating, the African American female who you see leaning against the wall in the bathroom, this is a demon who's aware of everything that's been documented on the internet. These are demons, and they know what's going on. This is demonic activity. I'm fully aware of what's going on the internet, on my phone, what I'm doing on a computer. This is what is so, what was so fascinating about my observing this conduct that I was subject to. The demon possessed, they're engaging in what is ongoing knowledge. This is what is Satan is doing through the people. They know it's what you're doing on a phone as you're doing it. But not only that, it's also indicative of what is always studying a communication device, always an operation of a communication device, even though you don't necessarily have to be holding it up while you are monitoring. You're creating activity while ongoing monitoring is underway. This is what demons were doing inside of the state facilitating venue of West Valley Detention Center, for example. Engineer light, triple double shadows. Those demon-possessed deputies had 6 shadows. I would document it on surveillance cameras. License 1545 684 molesting. They would have 6 shadows. I literally mean that, 3 on each side, and I would point that out to the surveillance camera to the best of my ability with regard to pointing out the abnormality of the conduct contrary to what the deputies were trying to present on surveillance cameras. They're just, we're just going in and taking out a prisoner. We're going to take him for a medical health check, right? They're engaged in, first of all, amplified audible activity. They enter pursuant to the same demonic behavioral pattern. They have multiple shadows while they're doing so. They're monitoring with the demons that are the very inmates inside of the jail, the people of the state. And they were engaging in ongoing terrorism together, stalking with noise in jail cells. While I was in a cell by myself or while I was in a cell with another third party, the entity engaged in the identical behavioral pattern. This is demonic activity. Understand that. Above that, it is surveillance by a government that's practicing the satanic targeting system. And that is why you are still monitoring when you are in that very identical environment. The same environment that's present at Fontana Lewis Library, as I'm showing you, is present inside of the facilitating venue of West Valley Detention Center. Multiple shadows, impossible light. There is no light that's inside of a jail, normal light. Okay, a light bulb that's going to create multiple shadows. All right, that is the demonic environment, and that demonic environment is indicative of state surveillance, and it's indicative of what is the demon possessed who surround in that environment, and they're engaging in criminal conduct, and surveillance is underway at those venues as I documented on surveillance camera, while this entity was engaging in kidnapping on more than one occasion. All right, like I said, this is long time exposure to the demon possessed and showing you how they engage in what is absolutely demented, stalking at every location at all times. They're getting on a bus because I'm getting on a bus. They're using whatever it is that's going on in their life as a means to maintain presence on behalf of a state. And whatever it is that you claim you're doing or wherever you claim you're going, you're group stalking while you're doing it, and you don't have a legal argument. And these are demons that are doing so. All right, it's currently 8:20 p.m. And this is Omnitrans, bus 1328, license plate 1404929. There you go.
Federal law requires masks on board, and it stops.
Huh?
No
Can you
mask,
see it?
no ride.
Oh, sorry. You can't see that? Pretty big. Anyway, this is bus number 1328. License 1535619, bus 1360. That's the other bus. I will get the license plate of this bus when I get off of it. It's currently 8:21 p.m. Excuse me. All right, these minions are all on surveillance cameras, and Omnitrans is nothing but a venue where the entity is cycling directed light, impossible light, through the walkway on the bus underneath the seats. This is nothing but P.O.C. And you're understanding what is the pattern of conduct that is continuously underway. It does not take a pause, and it is underway at all locations where also the people of the state are maintaining presence at all locations. And these are demons who are monitoring with communication devices, and that condition, demon possession, is directly relevant to the prosecution both of the government that's engaged in terrorism and the people of the state. This is P.O.C. It's 8:22 p.m. And I also want to point out again, with regard to the documentation of the entity, there is no separation between those demons that I captured on images in close-up pictures so you can see them, and these demons that are on the bus.
Everybody got a mask on?
Yeah. And these demons that are on the bus right now, or the demon that's driving the bus, okay? It's the same entity. It's present on behalf of the same public entity, and it's the same entity that is acting as one to engage in monitoring.
Playing music, radio, TV, headphones, please. Thank you.
I'd like to hear that. They are always using that as a means of activity creation, but the drivers are requesting headphones, which would be nice. They use noise as a method of monitoring. Anyway, it's currently 8:23 p.m. and this is pulling off from Metrolink, and it's bus number 1328 as I stated, and I will get the license plate as I get off the bus. This is the African American male who's monitoring, who's driving, operating this bus. This is Omnitrans, and this is P.O.C. Employee number 2536 is the African American male. He's monitoring with Fontana Police, who are north of Tijuana's Tacos, right before the intersection of Randall and Sierra. License 6XUV990 is monitoring, touching with light, and Fontana Police are sitting in the parking lot. In the same manner that 6XUV990 is, a demon stalking in the path aiming light, all right, and doing so on the very side of the bus where I'm sitting. That's not a coincidence either. This is group stalking by Fontana PD, and it is on what is Sierra Avenue. It's currently 8:26 p.m. And so this is the WSS shoes and the Tijuana's Tacos. Fontana Police are group stalking in the middle of that driveway parking lot area and aiming headlights in this direction. This is the demon that's manifesting light, and that demon is in a Fontana Police Department vehicle. That is both demonic and it's terrorism while the police are stalking in concert with the people, all right, engaging in that facilitation of interstate stalking. And this employee 2536 is monitoring with the people and with law enforcement in particular. So I want to document that, and it's currently 8:27 p.m. Molesting with light at KFC on Sierra Avenue. And it is currently, by the way, 8:28 p.m. inside of the El Super Plaza. License 6UOH935, molesting.
South Fontana Transit Center. Service by Loss 1961 329. On the right, Victorville
This is
Valley
audible
Transit.
activity in directed light.
And
everything that's being stated on the announcements is ongoing engagement in the elements monitoring. Excuse me. It's 8:28 p.m. 8K90506, molesting. And this is the El Super Plaza at Marigold and Sierra Avenue. So I want to be clear, Kaiser Permanente is monitoring. The Starbucks, the In-N-Out, this is where I'm at. All of them are monitoring. I'm just speaking to my position, my location, and I'm speaking to what is relevant positioning. All right, I'm subject to surveillance, and it is beyond the demons on this bus and around this bus. The venues that surround, they're all monitoring. It is massive state surveillance. It's currently 8:29 p.m. Let's see, 7XOA045, 8WEX652, 7HQX873. All of them molesting. And this is at Ontario Mills venue, engaging in molestation. They're molesting on behalf of the state. They're molesting. It's currently 8:52 p.m. Ontario Mills is not the only entity, venue engaging in that, but this is where we're at right now. I just want to document those third parties, group stalking at the intersection, 4th Street, Milliken, molesting while doing so. And that's relevant to the venue where I'm at, subject to that molestation by a bunch of demons who are engaging in surveillance with the state of California. It's 8:53. 8:53 p.m. License 8XPJ 506, 8CPA 179, 2204. And I can't see the rest of them. 8EVE005, 8TDE 347, 6VCT 786. 8NMS 482, molesting. Demons sitting in the drive, they're raising canes, molesting. Raising canes in
Ontario Mills.
Ontario Mills.
Service by P.O.C. 61, 81, 82, and RPA.
8RGM166. This is a demon that is at the intersection of Inland Empire Boulevard and Archibald, monitoring with employee 2536 and the minions getting off the bus at this intersection as well. It's 9:03 p.m. License 8M53388, molesting. 5986. 5S1, molesting. Those are two white vans. 7XPA 497, 6161082, that's Bellcab. Ontario Police Group stalking at the Ontario Airport at Terminal 2. I have in particular 3 officers that are group stalking in the path, and this is just visibly what I'm seeing. The Ontario Police are engaged in surveillance in general in the city of Ontario. 3 officers, and these are demons. They're standing in front of, on the sidewalk where minions are, third parties are creating ongoing light activity, and also directed light is on this bus. These 3 officers, and one is a female, and she's on surveillance. They're all on surveillance cameras. It's 9:08 p.m. just as with regard to my location and the time. And they are standing in the path, and they are monitoring at the Ontario Airport. So I just want to document that. And there is an Ontario Police white pickup truck that is present. I'm just speaking to what would be seen on surveillance cameras, just being as detailed as possible with regard to where I'm at, subject to this pattern of conduct. License CB89J27, that's paper. This is Ontario Airport. It's 9:08 p.m. 43988M2 and Fox rental car crossing the path as well. We're currently on Airport Drive. It's 9:11 p.m. 6MBL718. This is a demon at Airport Drive. Directed light and Airport Drive in Archibald. Directed light across the brick wall. And this is, let me show you where they're at because this is impossible light activity. Alright, so you can see this intersection of Archibald. This vehicle is on the passenger side of the bus near this brick wall. You have light manifesting on that brick wall. 5VDR691. First of all, it's not that vehicle's headlights or their brake lights that are creating this flashing light against that brick wall. The traffic on the opposing side is not going through the car in order to touch the brick wall that it is in front of, this white Honda Civic. Second of all, you have what is traffic that is on the opposite side, not in alignment. There is no vehicle that's turning in front. That is an impossible light activity as I'm documenting it. And I took a picture so you can see the position of that third party, that demon that is stalking in the path, while that ongoing pattern of what is impossible light activity is coexisting with that presence, okay? License 1582549, Ontario Police. Group stalking with, again, employee number 2536, the Ontario Airport. Group stalking in the same environment where I'm documenting impossible light at Archibald and Airport Drive. They're monitoring. License plate 8JIP681. And Ontario Airport is using a shuttle. Vehicle number 24 on the passenger side of that bus, beside the doors. There's a little white boy with glasses on sitting on the passenger side of the bus. His guardian, I don't know what that is, but they're sitting at the back, and he's got a blue long sleeve sweater on. They're monitoring. 9496, I can't really see the rest of that license plate, but that's the Ontario Airport Shuttle. And Ontario Police Department crossed paths while they're listening to me document that third party and that impossible light activity. I want to be clear, they're monitoring with the Ontario Airport, who crosses path also with its shuttle. All right, directed light is, it is patrolling, but directed light is streaming through the middle of this bus. All right, the entity is engaging in directed light conduct, just like I documented, showing you the picture of that demon's car, where that directed light is appearing around me, which is terrorism, and then the demons of the Ontario Police Department cross paths while they're listening to me document everything. All right, that is the impermissible threat. That's the speaking to what is the Ontario Police, they're going to federal prison for that, but this is speaking to how you are prosecuting law enforcement as they are engaging and participating and facilitating federal group stalking and monitoring. All right, and so that is how that is quickly unfolding as I'm documenting, and subject and ongoing criminal conduct is underway, and that's how quickly it unfolds. And so I'm just documenting demon after demon, and those demons include the police department. It is currently 9:15 p.m.
Vineyard.
8JVE284. Group stalking monitoring at Vineyard and Hall Boulevard at 9:15 p.m. 7YWF781. They're the same entity, the same exact demonic conduct, the same impossible light that is revealing a demon possession and that ongoing criminal system that is ceaselessly underway. And if you're capturing one instance of what is the supernatural, it is ongoing, by the way. But I am documenting what is an ongoing pattern of conduct nonetheless, and showing 8UMV361. All of those who are in no way exempt to what is a prosecution of the people and the government. It is 9:16 p.m. at Vineyard and Hall Boulevard. 8LQU683. I have a minion beating on my chair. That's sensational activity creation. It's also harassment. 8AHJ031. Sitting right behind me on surveillance cameras, which I'm referencing. It's 9:16 p.m. All right, employee 2536 is a demon that's operating this bus, and demons are sitting on the bus, but I want to document he's molesting my person. 8TRY870 is molesting as well. You have directed light flying all across the bus, moving like it's like moving around in the air of the bus, not just cycling on the ground in the middle of the bus. All right, that's molestation with directed light. I'm getting off the bus right now. Excuse me. In Ontario, it's 9:22 p.m. Excuse me.
No mask, no ride.
And this is bus number again 1328. The license plate is 1404972. That's the correct license plate. And that is again employee number 1404972 is the license. That's employee number 2536, engaging in ongoing molestation while I'm on that bus, monitoring and group stalking with the people. License 8MUB875. License 7PYN077, 4AST380, 7YLX341, 7KPH506. I can't see that license. 09455-9T is the back license plate of this large truck that's group stalking. Crossing path in a large truck, excuse me. It's not the truck that's group stalking, it's the demon that's driving the truck that is group stalking, and it is a means of identifying group stalkers who are acting with the state. All right, so just want to make sure I'm precise with my terminology. It's currently 9:23 p.m.